Good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment, Secretary Agency Finance Authority, open session 6:32. Call to order, roll call.
Mayor Gloria Romo,
Here.
Councilmember Javier Moreno,
Here.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia,
Here.
you have quorum.
There you are. Ready?
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Calexico, mission statement together.
Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner, to improve the quality of life for all and the unique border community.
Calexico.
Yep, thank you, Madam Mayor. Please bow our heads for our invocation, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together in the spirit of unity. I ask that you give us wisdom and guidance as we deliberate on the agenda items before us. I pray every decision we make be righteous in your sight for your glory and the benefit of our citizens. May we voice the truth and listen with an open heart from everyone that comes before the City Council. I ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Closed session announcement.
We have no reportable actions from closed session. Thank you.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
Mayor, there is a request from staff to remove item number 10 under consent.
Okay. Number 10.
And this would be a tabling of the item.
Okay.
So table item 10?
Number
Item number 10 on consent, correct.
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Second.
Order agenda, excuse me.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Presentation number 5. Here, Imperial Valley Healthcare District. No?
That was,
Okay. Presentation by USVD Calexico Station.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Joe Reminar. I'm the patrol agent in charge of the Calexico Station here in the El Centro sector. The Calexico Station's area of responsibility starts at the port of entry downtown, expands east out towards the desert. So any of the activities or personnel patrolling from the POE out to the desert are members of the Calexico Station. One of the things that I've championed since I got here to Calexico, or back to Calexico actually, I worked as a watch commander at the station a few years ago, was the fact that we are members of this community, right? Most of our agents live in the Imperial Valley. Their families are residents of either Calexico or the Imperial Valley, and we strive to be good partners and open communicators with some of the operations that we have going on. A couple weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to have a meeting with Ms. Colio, the city manager, and Chief Orozco. Even I think the week before that, Chief Orozco was present at the station as well. Recently held some bike training to expand that capability both at the city and our level to expand that cooperation. One of the things that came up in that meeting was something that's kind of unique to the Calexico Station. Historically, the Border Patrol has always referenced a three-legged stool of border security. We call it personnel, infrastructure, and technology. And a lot of times that infrastructure was considered tactical infrastructure, which was kind of a misnomer because, in my opinion, tactical infrastructure should be easily erected and easily moved and replaced as needed. One of the unique things is we've developed a temporary secondary barrier that we can quickly erect and then remove when needed, which has been incredibly successful at our border security efforts. We have this secondary barrier deployed in multiple areas already in Calexico. For those of you familiar with the area, the apartments by Andrade Avenue along the border that stretches eastbound towards Rivera Avenue. We have it deployed there. We have it a little bit further east next to the ranch at the intersection of Highway 98 and Bowker, right? Bowker Road. The downtown environment is one of the most challenging border security items for us due to the quick vanishing time and the ability for either subjects entering the country illegally or introducing items prohibited by law to quickly abscond. Our next planned deployment within our easement in the downtown environment is this. This picture represents here. This is photoshopped in, so it's not actually there yet, but this is a rendering of what it would look like in the future as early as next month. This depicts the area from the clinic, the old clinic, eastbound to right around Mission School. Another rendering of how it would look. Again, this is photoshopped. It's not actually there yet, but this is a good representation of where we plan to deploy it. Not only is this barrier temporary, but it has been extremely successful to our border security efforts. It has resulted in near zero entries wherever it's been deployed due to the difficulty of defeating it. This has allowed us to deploy more personnel in other more needed areas. It is also due to the height of the fence. A lot of times we would see injuries from falling and using local resources to tend to those people, whether it's local EMS, fire department, hospitals. Because those secondary barriers are so effective, again, we see almost zero entries in those locations, which means there are no injuries, and those local resources are not tied up tending to those injuries. This is a picture, actual picture of where it is deployed near Rivera, spanning westbound towards those apartments. Just another picture of the actual deployed secondary barriers. Again, we're looking at early as next month to roll those out in that downtown portion between the clinic towards Mission School. Talking to Chief Orozco, the ability of us to deploy this would only give us more opportunity to assist Calexico Police Department in their efforts when we're called upon for backup and other assistance. And again, it has been a boon for our security efforts and our ability to protect the community. Border security is national security, and it has been very successful in our ability to protect the community at large. I don't have a whole lot else above and beyond that, unless there are questions or.
Oh, I just want to inform as a community what's going on. That will be appreciated. So, but thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely, anytime. I appreciate being
Thank you
here.
for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for your efforts. I know it's another tool you have for the border security. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Proclamation, National Police Week.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, City Council. Good evening. Proclamation honoring National Police Week. Whereas the City of Calexico recognizes the importance of law enforcement in maintaining public safety and ensuring the well-being of our community, and whereas National Police Week is a time to honor and pay tribute to the law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty, and to show appreciation for those who have served and protect our community, and whereas the men and women of the Calexico Police Department demonstrate unwavering dedication, bravery, and professionalism in their commitment to keep our city safe, and whereas since the first recorded line of duty death in 1786, over 24,067 law enforcement officers in the United States, including 49 in the Imperial Valley, have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty, and whereas the citizens of Calexico remember the tragic loss of our very own Calexico police officer, Adrian Cordova, lost to us on November 1st, 2007, whose sacrifice will forever be etched in our hearts. Whereas the city of Calexico is committed to supporting our police officers and law enforcement agencies in their mission to uphold justice, maintain public order, and whereas National Police Week provides an opportunity for the community to express gratitude to our law enforcement officers for their selfless service and sacrifice. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico do hereby proclaim the week of May 12th to the 18th, 2024 as National Police Week in the City of Calexico, encouraging all residents to join in honoring our police officers and law enforcement agencies for their dedication, service to our community. In witness whereof, witness Gloria Romo, Mayor of City of Calexico, herein affix her signature official seal of the City of Calexico on this 15th day of May 2024.
Thank you, Ms. Collier.
Mayor Romo, I would like to request, and I apologize, there's some oversight about an emergency item that I need to request to the City Council to be added as an emergency basis. This is for the fire department, and it's a grant that the Association of the Fire Department prepared, but they need matching fundings for an alarm system that will alleviate some of the concerns, the heart concerns that they have. So if you allow me maybe to amend the agenda that you already approved, I would appreciate that.
This is, I'm sorry, for this for fire station number 2?
No, sir,
No.
this is Fire Station 1.
1.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
It's for emergency.
Okay.
yes.
Um,
It's a grant deadline that they have, and we want to meet the deadline.
Sure, okay,
Yes.
so, yeah, I'll make a motion
So
for
I
that.
move to amend the motion. I think I move to approve
Right.
the agenda, so move to
Yes.
amend the motion of approval agenda. And
Okay.
adding that item, where do you
Yes.
want to put it?
And what?
It could be the last one, this one.
The last,
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. We need both, no?
Yes.
Mayor Gloria Romo,
Yes?
Councilmember Javier Moreno,
yes.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Collier. Yeah. Public comments?
This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. Our first speaker is Jose Luis Arambula.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre
Buenas
es
tardes.
José Luis Arámbula. Mi dirección 932 David Navarro. El motivo de mi visita hoy es porque está conmigo un grupo de residentes que usamos un caminador que hicieron allá en la área del Río Nuevo. Y muy bien, lo hicieron muy bien. Árboles, ramas pero lo dejaron abandonado, no han ido a trabajar en él. Entonces estamos aquí para pedir el apoyo de que vayan y trabajen en él. A las personas que lo hicieron, pues les damos las gracias porque pues nos ayuda para salir a caminar, pero sí necesitamos en las tardes, los focos no prenden, hay muchos arbolitos que ya se secaron, están caídos, las ramas, o sea, necesita trabajo, o sea, lo hicieron, pero ahí lo abandonaron, y les venimos a pedir el apoyo para que pues nos echen la mano y le echen una vuelta. Ok, muchas gracias, con permiso.
Gracias.
Loli Mercado Torres.
My name is Loli Mercado Torres, 46 Las Flores Drive. The reason I was here was for item 10, but you gentlemen removed it. The other thing is, in general, I would like to know when the town meeting is going to be here in Calexico. On the west side is possible. You do have the Nosotros people here that are concerned about their walking area. I understand Mr. Arambula, he himself and some other people go out there and clean it. Why should they if it belongs to the city? And then another thing, that homeless site on 3rd Street, can't they just take a tractor and clean the whole thing up? I mean, it's an unhealthy site. Those are my concerns for now. I am going to give you, this information was given to me by people that were concerned about item 10. They know what they're talking about, but in the end, it would affect us maybe possibly having our water bills raised. So if you could pass this to the city council people, please. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Javier González.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, council members, members of the public. My name is Javier Gonzalez. I'm here as your ID representative. Just wanted to remind this city council that you have on your agenda several appointments because of the recall. One of those appointments is for the 2-on-2 on IID. That is one of the proposals that I put 2 years ago, that we wanted the IID, 2 board members to work with 2 county and every city. I haven't sat in the city's 2-on-2 because I requested myself to be excused because, well, I don't want to say, I had a council member that was accusing me, but anyway, you have to replace one of those openings, and I have asked the IID board chairman to reinstate me to the Calexico 2 and 2. There's a lot of work that we have to do. I mean, I've been working very hard the last 3 years, but it is time that we fix several of the problems that IID has taken a lead in. First of all, IID replaced 90% of your street lights, but the city of Calexico is responsible, other than the fixture, the city is responsible for the pole and the wiring. There's about 30 of them that don't work. They have new lights, but they don't work. You have the ones at downtown. You guys have the money, ARPA money. Let's fix them. We'll be the first city in the whole district that will have all LED lights and all working if the city fixes the ones that they fall under the responsibility. That is, they have underground wiring that's all over the Bertucci's, downtown. There's several of them. The other thing is the retention basins. That's the problem that's been for 7 years. IID water that has pesticides, herbicides, has been going into the several of the water retention basins along Andrade where kids play. Everybody said it wasn't the responsibility of IID. I made IID responsible because that's water that's coming in from the fields, even though that IID didn't give permissions for the developers to connect to IID. What they did is they put a little tapon there. It's a temporary one, and we asked the farmers over at the Bravo Ranches to irrigate one field at a time. That's why the water's not coming in. But what IID did 3 years ago, and I met with Gloria Romo, IID said they're going to pay for everything. The city has to do the work, and they haven't done it for 3 years. I go over to the parks over at Rancho Frontera and Harrington. I mean, I see the big, nice houses. Their park has been like that for 10 years. It's a swamp. We can get that fixed. The other problem is the All-American Canal. The fencing, it's again all full of a hose. And the IID went and they cleaned it all up. They fixed it all. They put new fencing at the Cloak Avenue. They're putting new fencing at the Central Main Canal. But again, because of summer, because of the vagrants, there's a lot of holes in there. IID is going to fix them tomorrow. But that's the responsibility of the city of Calexico under a contract. And IID told me we can't be doing it. We tell the city that we can do it, but we're going to charge them. And I'm the kind of guy that wants things fixed yesterday. So I told him we got to fix them. I don't want a kid to drown on my watch. But that's your responsibility. Let's get together. Let's fix these problems. The city of the IID gave some trees to the city on Arbor Day. We need to plant those trees before they die because of the summer. Let's appoint someone there, 2 and 2s. Let's start working and let's fix all these problems that we can fix tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesús Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Rosemont, Calexico. Council and staff, earlier, Mr. Camilo and Mr. Moreno, I gave you 3 sections of information. One is pertaining, I still need information, like I told you last week, okay? I'm going to be addressing my concerns to you because the administration doesn't listen to me, okay? So I need the final information from the EV chargers, okay, what's going on there. And like I said, I have not received any information on fire station number 2. Okay, so that's up to you guys, okay, how you're going to get that information. The other one is we have a concern. There's a big bend on the street that's been there for quite a few weeks. My understanding is that there was company that was hired, Joey Boots, okay? And I believe he's an employee from the city. And at the same time, this employee, he's a contractor with other personnels on that company. And he has a contract with the city, I believe, so I would appreciate for you guys to look into it, okay? And the other thing is that how can it be possible that a police officer with the police association be negotiating a contract with the city and then at the same time negotiating a contract for the police department? So that's up to you, how you're going to handle it, okay? And I will keep addressing that issue until I get an answer. So let's move on. My other concern is I would really appreciate this council to take into consideration the adoption of the parks. Okay, this is going to be the 3rd year that we have not adopted a park. Okay, we know that the property belongs to the city, but however, symbolically, we want to feel that we own those parks. We need for this council to work with us. Okay, we need to figure out how can we get volunteers participating. We know economically where we stand. We know what staff we have, the needs that we have. But however, we have a high potential, okay, of volunteers. It's a big commodity that we have. Let's open the parks to the community. Let's figure out how to pay that insurance, okay? Because it's nonsense. How can you demand a person or a group to pay $2,000 to adopt a park? City doesn't have money. You don't have staff. You have a big commodity, and you have a lot of volunteers in Calexico that sometimes we don't know what to do, okay? So put us to work. Open it up to the community. I understand that the county has a system of volunteers. Don't invent the wheel. Bring that system down here. Implement it here. Tweak it to where it's going to work for Calexico. You guys set up the guidelines. I believe that we could get some money from the ARPA, okay, just at least for this year, and then we'll figure it out. I've been talking to the Little League organization. They are certified as a 501c3. They're waiting for the certificate to come in. Once we get that certificate, I'm going to address the situation to both of you, okay? So we can either do a joint competitive grant, you know, so we can apply both of us, the city and the Little League. On top of that, the treasurer is a grant writer. She's willing to participate. She just needs for this council to accept it. So just a heads up what's coming up, okay? So I would really appreciate that. And on top of additional fundings, I'm going to touch that subject for funding on item 18 where we can get some money. So let's put the community to work, okay? Don't let this opportunity go by, because we will keep insisting until you say yes, okay? Thank you.
Maritza Hurtado.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Maritza Hurtado, and I am the team leader for the Recall 2024. I want to thank everybody for having participated in the recall, and today we see a very different situation. We are very calm. But one of the things that I wanted to mention today is we want to thank our council, specifically Mr. Garcia, for removing a camera that was just right here behind us. I know we have visitors from Brawley, and I'm pretty sure Brawley City Council does not have cameras pointing at the public, nor was there any frisking of purses and personal items at the entrance of meetings. So I want to make sure that we appreciate that from our council. We had a lot of issues during this recall with regard to the violations of our rights. And as a former city councilwoman, it was 8 years of a lot of issues here to try to settle down different issues within our police department. Our former council members do indicate that our police department did nothing, and that's why FBI showed up, and that is not true. So I want to make sure that anyone that's here that's listening to what I'm going to say now is the truth, as far as there were a lot of issues with our police department. Mr. Orozco witnessed it. And I want to make sure that you all understand what it is that we're about here for the recall group. We're no longer going to be called a recall group, but we still want to ensure that reform continues, and primarily that our rights as citizens are respected, because during this whole year of this recall, we were pretty violated, and we all remember that. But instead of having to go back into that, I want to just make sure that you all know that this exists. This is 89, I think, 89 findings, Chief? 89 findings of 143 pages from a program called COPS, and that is with the Department of State, and they did a very, very thorough review in those years to make sure that we all, as citizens, had a department that was community-minded. Okay, so that's all I'm going to ask for, is that the decision that was made to remove this continue, because this city council and this city is expected to go back to what was worked on so hard in those years to become community-minded. So that's all I'm asking for. The other thing I want to mention is that this morning we had a discussion, short discussion with Brown Bag Coalition, Brown Bag Coalition was approached last year before the recall occurred, asking her to please seek another location for the feeding program that she has. The feeding program, many of the business owners in downtown believe that the feeding program has caused an unexpected and undesired collection of undesirable individuals in our downtown. If we all look at it, the situation shows that since 2020, there have been 5 murders, 5 deaths. A lot of them have been officer involved because of the crisis that we have in downtown. So many of us feel that it was necessary to approach her, and she denied it. So this morning, we once again requested that she consider seeking another location, and that you all here understand that her services do not complement business owners in downtown, and that to prioritize the homeless, I think we're done with that. I think we need to prioritize our business owners. So thank you very much.
Leila?
Good evening, honorable city council persons. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak in front of you. I have 3 items I want to bring it up. The first one is I was so encouraged to hear that city council Mr. Moreno mentioned a few times about that he would support bring back the chamber. In the past few months that I was in a different community event, I heard that people that wanted to make it happen, and I just want to provide more information. The old group still functioning a little bit, even though we don't have an office, but a year ago we still doing the ribbon cuttings and all that, and we also received a renewal of a membership. It's very encouraging. Even Frank Nico live in Chula Vista. They're willing to give us a lot of advice. So I just hope that the council will help us to make it happen. Item number 2, that I would like to ask the council to help the merchant on Imperial Avenue. Every time when the traffic build up, they practically, the business kind of slow down a lot. People cannot get across to do business with all the business owner, and the worst block would be on the last block of the street on the south side, address 201. The owner bought the property like 30-40 years ago, with knowing that 3 or 4 parking in the front, 2 or 3 parking by the side. But little by little, they remove all the parking. And the worst thing that happened in the afternoon, when the traffic built up, they just close up the ceiling, close up the alley, and there's no way customer can get in to do business with them. Yeah, very few, as you know, very few of those pedestrian walking traffic. So for them, it's very hard. They're about to close. So I think we need to save those business by work out something to put traffic control stuff to see what we can help them to let the customer get easily to do business with them. Item number 3, that I always hear that the downtown is very filthy and need to clean up a little bit. So we all know, but then, and I agree that a lot of volunteer could be participate. So I hope that we can organize some volunteer to do the job. That'd be all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Raúl Ureña.
Good evening. Buenas tardes, Ms. Mayor. If I could please ask for my 4.5 minutes of accommodation for my disability. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Unos cuantos puntos, a couple of points. Seeing from other public comments, Ms. Hurtado mentioned about the camera that was being installed here at a time when there were a lot of interruptions. cuando había muchas interrupciones en City Council, y nomás quería recordarle al público que eso también no solamente se hace en el Board of Supervisors. De hecho, cuando Camilo quitó la cámara, siguió prendida porque tenía pila. Y aparte, si ven a al oficial aquí a la izquierda, también los está grabando, los sigue grabando. Entonces están en un lugar público, no se están violando los derechos. Todos estamos a favor de seguridad pública, estamos a favor de la policía, excepto cuando la cámara los está vigilando. ¡Qué hipocresía! Y en el Board of Supervisors, por la misma seguridad, tienen esos mismos procedimientos que se instalaron aquí en el Cabildo de Calexico cuando había mucho caos del público en ese entonces. Empezando con mi comentario, hay muchos políticos en este pueblo que le tienen miedo a las promesas, al Morris, a Camilo, no les gusta prometer. Y quiero decir que el que no promete no se compromete, el que no promete no se compromete con el pueblo. Pero una promesa sí se hizo, y esa es la promesa que se hizo en la previa junta, que iba a haber transparencia, que se iba a trabajar con la comunidad, que iba a haber town halls, que iba a haber workshops. Entonces, en esa misma junta se quebró esa promesa. Vinieron aquí iglesias, arquidiócesis católicos desde Nuevo México, Santa Fe, organizaciones como el ACLU locales, y a ni una de esas organizaciones se les escuchó ni se les consideró sus puntos antes de que regresaran $2 millones que nos habían regalado. Desde ese entonces se había dicho que se podían usar para otras cosas. Ese dinero formalmente, queridos ciudadanos, ya se le dio a San Diego. Felicidades, ya no es nuestro dinero. Ese dinero le iba a ayudar, ese dinero le iba a ayudar a los bomberos, le iba a ayudar a los policías, porque la migración ha causado mucho estrés en esos departamentos con los incidentes que hemos visto en el último año ahí. Siguen siendo 75 a 100 personas que se dejan allí en el downtown. ¿Cuál es el plan? Obviamente no escucharon a las organizaciones. Entonces, ¿cuál es la propuesta para mitigar esos problemas que siguen estando? En menos de 2 semanas se va a ampliar el Calexico West. There's going to be an expansion of the Calexico West port of entry. So if you think traffic is bad right now, in just 2 weeks, we are going to have 30% more vehicles backing up Imperial Avenue for more hours at a time with more intensity. What is the plan? ¿Cuál es el plan? We are going to appoint a new transportation commissioner tonight. I hope that they at least have a sense of how to start resolving that problem. Y just for the record, there was a plan in 2019, en el 2019 se hizo un estudio de ingeniería to fix the border traffic. In 2019 there was a border traffic study that was generated by ICTC, and it recommended that traffic go to Cesar Chavez. And the reason that plan was not followed was because of Ms. Fernandez and Mr. Morris Risen wanting to keep traffic on Imperial. I hope this council is able to follow the recommended engineering plan and propose a plan in an emergency basis to fix traffic on Imperial, shift it over to Cesar Chavez, because as we've heard from Louis Wong just tonight, it's causing major issues to the business community. 30% more traffic expected every single day in Calexico, starting in 2 weeks. El que no promete no se compromete, pero sigue siendo responsable por los resultados de esta comunidad. Muchas gracias.
June Kim.
Good evening, citizens of Calexico and the council and the city employees. I was getting ready for talking about the Chamber of Commerce, and then what City of Calexico did for the Chamber of Commerce, that is exactly sample of our council focusing where, to helping who. Our city council, they don't have any intention to help for the merchants and business here. It's showing up that today, when I'm passing the corner of the Chamber of Commerce, all fence tires are down, all the graffitis. What's going on here? Okay, what they're saying is, what the council said, that they found the mold, whatever, they not to let them work. What city is supposed to do it? If Chamber of Commerce, I understand the Chamber of Commerce, they had some active, or sometimes they don't get benefit to our business, but still Chamber of Commerce is representing our business. And what city did, instead of helping them, give them time to repair, they can use it, they just take it away like this. The rumor saying the council wants to give it to some of the friends to let them use it. I was true or not. But I don't care. The council is supposed not to renovate Chamber of Commerce to be there. If they're not functioning, they have to be working together with the chamber. What is good for the business? What for the Calexico? That's the only legal or official channel for through the communicate with the merchant business, merchants in here. So I'm urging to council reconsidering that to even help to further let them Chamber of Commerce coming back to areas and then let them work for the voicing for our merchants. The council, they don't want to communicate with our merchants, go ahead. But I believe that they have some good intention would be there, and also we can use the ARPA funds for there too, but because that's we'll be cooperating our community. At the same time, last time I was mentioning, city, any properties should not sell to some public, the private business benefit. That areas of Chamber of Commerce are supposedly good, very important for the traffic controls. They should be there under control by the cities. And also other ones, and there was called the parking lot. We supposed to using for the parking lot for the community. A city wants to sell the land. I don't know what has happened here, and our city should work better. I'm not gonna go for the other issues. I'm gonna come back for the next council meeting. But please, taking care of the business person in here. I agree with Mr. Hurtados about the homeless people. They are hurting the downtown and hurting themselves. Thank you.
Joseph Gilleen.
Good evening, council. I don't need my 4 minutes. I'm a big boy. I'm not a crybaby. I came the other week and I asked for let's get the ICTC going. I appreciate it. You guys put it on the agenda. This is what we need to do because obviously the me person didn't want to work well with other people, and I hear that already they want to work with other people, with us now. Obviously they were a nuisance, so that's why they're working with us now. There's another thing that I was very concerned with, the comments to Facebook and you know, in the live stream, right? I don't know if they're up yet. I don't know. But I think that's something that we need to bring back, not because it's somewhere where we can express what we want. I look at it at different angles, and I want to just see what you guys think. Let's say if someone does have a question with government things or things that are happening with the government, City Hall, that's, you know, they're announcing. What if someone truly has a question, who are not in this political, who want to say that it's all about the políticos? What if they're not in that? What if they're on the outside? Porque si no, si están hasta afuera, quieren preguntar algo en los comments de Facebook, ¿va? ¿Dónde lo van a hacer estas personas? Los que no tienen ningún lado de que están en los políticos y todo eso. ¿Dónde van y dicen algo? I just want some answers. I just want to know why that's being still removed. Why is it still being blocked? If there's something that needs to be done, like a moderator, let's look into it. I mean, there's ways to moderate things. You don't need to be moderating it there. There's certain words you can ban and stuff like that. But we need to look into that because, like I said, when you remove the whole public from being able to speak, that's for me a violation. I mean, people want to know why certain people are hiring. I mean, there's multitude of questions that could have and that they can have about these announcements on the Facebook page. So just something to look into. Thank you.
City manager's report. Other comments?
Two.
One comment more?
May I start? Mayor, may I start? Okay. Good evening. My name is Daniela Flores. I am here speaking as the executive organizer of Imperial Valley Equity and Justice Coalition. I'm here to read out a letter that was sent to the whole council, and so I'll pass out copies. It's fine, we can just keep them there. So I'll begin. To Mayor Romo and esteemed City Council, we, the undersigned organizations and advocates, write today to express concern about the proposed agreement between the Customs and Border Protection and the City of Calexico for the renewal of a lease for a surveillance tower at Nosotros Park. We urge you to remove this item from the consent agenda for discussion and to table it until further negotiations and engagement can be conducted to protect members of the community, especially children, from surveillance technology controlled by artificial intelligence, or AI, and developed by the military contractors. The Remote Video Surveillance System, RVSS, tower at Nosotros Park was installed in the early 2000s when video technology was fairly limited and the feeds required real-time monitoring by human personnel. That is not how these cameras will operate under CBP's new AI strategy. Instead, these towers will be controlled by algorithms that will automatically detect, identify, and track and classify objects of interest. This means that everything that falls under the gaze of the cameras will be scanned and categorized. To an extent, the AI will automatically decide what to monitor and recommend when Border Patrol officers should be dispatched. While a human being may be able to tell the difference between children playing games or residents getting ready for work, AI is prone to mistakes and difficult to hold accountable. In an era where the public has grave concerns on the impact of unchecked technology on youth and communities of color, we do not believe enough scrutiny and skepticism has been applied to this agreement and CBP's proposal. For example, the item contains very little in terms of describing what kinds of data will be collected, how long it will be stored, and what measures will be taken to mitigate the potential threats to privacy and human rights. In addition, we are concerned that the agreement leaves little room for the Calexico City Council to take action should CBP's tower result in harm. In order for Calexico to cancel the project, the city must give CBP 365 days notice. In California, a landlord can evict a tenant for a serious violation of a lease in 3 days, but Calexico would have to wait a full year. Meanwhile, CBP only has to give 60-day notice. So the rest of the letter will be read by Ismael Arvizu.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes. I'll continue the letter. So we have a couple questions to bring up. What data will this tower collect? Specifically, will it collect biometric data, such as face prints of residents? Number two, how long and where will this data be stored? Is it safe? Is it somewhere that people can be, is it prone to danger or any kind of theft? Number three, who will have access to the data and how will they be held accountable for mistakes or misuse? What kind of audits will occur, who will be responsible for conducting them? So who's going to be held accountable when AI does a mistake? Number four, can the tower be relocated closer to the border alongside the dozen of other RVSS towers that are visible along the fence? Number five, can the AI cameras be set to never point toward or collect data from Nosotros Park or the neighborhood at Lindholm Avenue and Wozencraft Street? We also recommend that Calexico adjust the lease the lease to make the following requirements of CVP. Number one, provide the city council with a privacy and civil liberties briefing before installing any new technologies on the tower. Number two, provide regular updates on audits of the system for misuse and mistakes, as well as a regular report on the efficiency of the tower, so council members may make an informed decision when the next renewal comes due. And number three, the ability for Calexico to cancel the contract with a notice period of days or weeks rather than a full year. It is crucial that the Calexico City Council begins applying more scrutiny to CVP's surveillance tower proposals. In the coming years, CVP intends to upgrade 45 CVS's towers in the El Centro sector and add 66 more, a 150% increase in the region. But for now, we urge you to think again about the Nosotros Park lease. The biggest investment in a public park should be in the community and the childhood development, not in military-grade surveillance technology. Sincerely, Imperial Valley Equity and Justice Coalition, Electronic Frontier Foundation, Calexico Needs Change, U.S.-Mexico Border Program, American Friends Service Committee, and Southern Border Communities Coalition. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
This item is for number 11.
Yes, that's for number 11. Those comments were for number 11.
Okay. City manager report, no. Huh?
No, I'm going to ask Chief Orozco to provide us with an update regarding 3rd Street and the homeless population, what they have done so far.
Excuse me, so Ms. Colo, you're deferring your comments for him?
Yes, sir.
So you have nothing to report?
No, I don't want to report anything.
Good evening again. So what we've been doing lately, I wanted to give you an update to the public and to the city council what we're doing in the downtown. We've been conducting extra patrols in the downtown area and actually specialized enforcement. Just a little bit of stats. Since January of this year to today, we've received 16 calls just on 3rd Street alone. Out of that, we've done one specialized detail where 7 people were arrested and cited for various charges. Everything from we've showed up there for fires. We've only actually received 1 call for service out of the 16. The other 14 are proactive encounters by the police, going and contacting people, looking for drugs, people getting into fights, things like that. So your police department has been proactive in the downtown. We're going to continue to be proactive. We're fielding officers on special details on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays to begin the process of getting the downtown back on its feet and doing more for the public.
Chief, can you please elaborate also what restricts us from going into a private property and remove the homeless in a private property?
So when we're dealing with public property, obviously we have certain restrictions. On private property, obviously, just like we couldn't go into your home and get you out of your own home, it falls on the same thing. We can't go into private property without permission of the owner to get them out. And then you're going to run into things like, squatter rights, things like that, where you have to evict them. So for us, the police department, it's kind of a touchy situation for us to go in. If we have a written letter from the owner, we can go, we can cite them, but then you have the issues of personal property that's left behind. So the law says that if we take any kind of personal property, we have to store it for 90 days at our lots, which of course would be the city lots of the city. So there's a lot of things that have to be done. You just can't go in there and just clear them out, or you can't just, even on public property, there's a lot of rules that go to it.
Yes, and I just want to mention also, to elaborate a little bit, the county of Los Angeles and the Riverside County has been sued for removing homeless without providing other sources of living. My understanding is we don't have shelter anymore. When I arrived to the city, we still had the shelter, the Catholic Charity Shelter. So when we want to remove someone from the street, we will offer that individual to go to the shelter. We don't have that luxury anymore. And that's what is holding us from removing the individuals.
Any questions, Lady?
Yeah,
Jo?
yes, I do. I have many comments, many concerns, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
So, have you, in your contacts, you personally, maybe your officers, have you identified any of those people?
Yes.
And how many of those people are homeless? How many of those vagrants and criminals and drug users?
So, based on the 16 contacts just on the 200 block of 3rd Street, that's you got 16 calls for service between January to May of this year. One of those was specialized detail, like I said. We cited, and some were taken to county jail. There was 7 of them just on that one detail alone. So yeah, when we do contact them, we FI them, which is field interview, where they get identified. If they're citable, we cite them. Also have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, that the laws have changed a lot, where back in the old days, if you caught them with methamphetamine, they would go to county jail. Now it's a citable offense. So a lot of things we cannot transport anymore. So it's a cite and release. We give them their day in court, and we send them on their merry way.
And did you require permission from the owner to do that?
To go onto private property, yes.
So you call them, then you're going to go and cite them? That's what you did?
So what we do is we have a book from business owners, private property owners that have vacant lots, and they've signed a letter giving us permission to go onto their property that allows us to advise them of trespass and to be able to cite them, yes.
And if your officer patrolling and they see a violation, they don't need permission, right?
No, that's plain view doctrine. They can go and...
That's in plain view?
Yes.
Okay, so based on that, what is your plan? Because I get calls of those encampments. We're going to do the same thing we did on 1st Street. We let it go, and it's going to be out of control. Okay, so what is your plan to address the concerns of the merchants and the people that walk through the streets there?
So on certain businesses, obviously, if they're vacant lots, we're working with the planning division where we're sending notices to the owners. And so eventually it goes through a process. What happens is we send them a notice, we send them fines, and then what it's going to happen is we're going to have to take them to court to get the clearance to be able to, the city to pay to clear it out. And then what happens is the property owners have a lien on their property where we can get recovered our expenses.
Okay, so in particular, the one that I'm concerned with is that where the Elks Lodge used to be, which is still not cleaned up. I go to church on Sundays. I went by there this past 2 weeks ago, and literally the gentlemen were getting the materials. They were building their homes from those materials. So we're not helping. We're not doing anything to. We're actually enabling, but giving the materials to build homes. And I spoke to one individual was there. He seemed to be under the influence to me. I mean, we have a drug issue with there. I don't personally don't believe they're homeless people. We're going to call them homeless, but they're not homeless. But especially because I asked them, I said, "You are familiar with the services we have, the county and the city?" I said, "Yeah, but I don't want that. That's not a homeless person." And he goes, "By the way, I live in Mexicali." So my point is this, okay, is that what are we going to do with that property and all the properties in Calexico, but that in particular, we're about to break ground for the hub. The transportation hub, and potentially, it's going to give us problems. The other thing also I have is in terms of health and safety. Health because the drug users, they got paraphernalia, you got knows all the diseases, and the safety for anybody who walks through there. So I think if we have a plan for that, and maybe you can present it to us. The citizens want to know what the plan is going to be there, as well as the other cities, other locations in Calexico, but that one in particular, because they're making encampment now, and we're going to get caught into this evictions and all that. Now, also, we're holding the property owners accountable. You said, right? You dry tag them. How many citations do they get till we finally? Because we're the government. Come on, we're the government. We got to put pressure on these people. So how many citations do they finally, do we seize the property? Do we do eminent domain? What do we do to make the point?
I would have to defer that question to the planning department. Because that's their realm. As far as how many violations before they
So just to elaborate a little bit, we have, when I was working in the county, we had 2 properties in Winter Haven and another location. And the process was about 6 months of notices, and once that we had the 6 months of notices, then it goes to a process, and then the judge decides whether or not we had the right to get into the property and clean the property and put a lien. But that was about 6
Right.
months. And I'm talking about maybe 4 or 5 years ago when we were doing cleanups with funding.
So the same philosophy, the same idea, business model, the same thing. You go to a presiding judge who is in charge of all the judges in Imperial County, and you go with the district attorney, you present a proposal and say, what do we do? Because what they're doing is they arrest them, release them the next day. Now, we can make examples of them. The other thing also, real quick for your information, the state of California, the Governor Newsom put out I think 43 million, whatever is money. They found out it's a pilot program. You might want to look into that. Because a pilot program to address, the government gave orders to address the issue with homelessness, okay? He's very frustrated because municipalities, police department not doing their job. This is what happened. When somebody's deceased, they're not reporting those people, okay? We're not doing a good job. So tap into that resource. You can be able to some funds to curb some of those issues you have there, to identify. We just had, I believe, in this year, I think it's been 5 already deceased in Calexico, and those were claimed to be homeless. Now, I know the Sheriff Department to the Coroner's Office have an issue of identifying this. And now, Brown Bag Coalition has a list of those people. And the point I'm trying to make is that you need to pull the resources to help facilitate, because you're going to be way over head with this problem. And we're going to have people getting killed again and getting murdered. And we have the temperatures coming in. And these people with the drug issues, yeah, I think they need help.
Yes, Councilman, I'll
Thank
look
you.
into it. Any other questions from the council?
Commissioner report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mine is just a short report. I just want to invite the public for our next regular meeting for Commissioners meeting. We're gonna have July 10th. It's a regular meeting. And if you want to bring the issues of the Adopt a Park, we'll have that as an item in the agenda. Another thing is there was some events that were held at the Culture Art Center. And, we were knowing that the AC was not working. But I did find out from staff that they started to work on it this Monday, and staff is happy. We also have, if it's possible, for next agenda, so we can give recognition to the 9 artists for the utility boxes. I know I've been mentioning it. If we can do that next meeting, that would be, I hope we can recognize those 9 artists. I think that's it for my proposal, and for the next meeting for June 5th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roxana. City Council comment? Okay. Thank you, Blanca.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members here. I'm Blanca Morales. I am the bid chair commissioner, and I did also submit a letter to City Manager Esperanza Colio on May 13th. And dear Calexico City Council, downtown open air, bad order is worse than ever. The usual trash and drug paraphernalia all over sidewalks, feces and urine and alley walkways and other public spaces persist. Businesses that face consistent busted windows, the people terrified to visit downtown. All of that and more is a threat to the recovery of downtown Calexico unless the City Council takes immediate action to address public safety and unmet needs of those living in the streets. The health and renewal of downtown Calexico matters to our entire city. Downtown Calexico is the economic center of our business district, welcoming shoppers, workers, visitors each year. The concentration of economic activity in downtown generates an annual city and state tax revenue that's crucial to sustaining services and expanding infrastructure in our city. While we've made great progress after the pandemic, the recovery of downtown is dependent on its being healthy, safe, and welcoming for all. I'm writing to urge immediate action and investment by the City Council to address the homeless crisis in downtown Calexico and improve safety and security for all who work and visit here. Specifically, I want to express my deep concerns regarding homeless encampment located on 310 Rockwood Avenue. As the BID chair and a member of this community, it is important to address these issues with compassion and urgency. The current realities on the streets of downtown Calexico and the lack of clear and well resources strategy to address the homeless crisis and ensure safety and security for all is a front and center threat to the lives of the people in need. If this crisis is not adequately addressed, it will harm business growth, job creation, retention, further delaying new businesses opening, and ultimately put Calexico's very future at great risk. There's been a significant increase in arson crime in downtown Calexico the past year. Calexico PD is already understaffed. The property crime is having a major impact on many downtown stores. At present, over 50 unsheltered individuals have been identified in the downtown area. A majority are suffering from behavioral health issues and/or substance abuse disorders and have been unhoused for many years. Unsheltered individuals are concentrated in specific areas of downtown, creating significant public health and safety for businesses. Homeless individuals have repeatedly interactions with the police and emergency responses in the legal systems. These individuals, concentrated in certain areas of downtown, have created a disproportionate impact on specific blocks and businesses. Retail theft is rampant and visibly organized fencing operations are at cost retailers stolen goods. Simply put, the current systems, programs, responses, interventions are inadequate and ineffective in addressing these issues. Individuals living in this encampment are facing incredibly difficult circumstances, and it is evident they're in need of support and resources. The current situation is only challenging for these individuals living in the encampment, but also for the surrounding businesses community. The presence of the encampment has raised safety concerns among businesses owners and residents. Reports of increased crime and unsanitary conditions are among a few of the public safety concerns. The lack of access to basic amenities such as shelter, sanitation facilities, and healthcare puts the health and wellness of the individuals living in an encampment at risk. Taking immediate action to address these issues in a way that is both compassionate and effective will provide homeless people with access to safe and stable housing. County support services such as mental health care and addiction treatment is crucial to helping them rebuild their lives and other societies. We believe this engagement with our local community organizations and stakeholders to develop a comprehensive, sustainable solution is essential. By working together, we can ensure that the needs of both the homeless individuals and the businesses are met. This is unacceptable, dangerous, and immoral public health and safety crisis, and your urgent action is needed. Respectfully, we request the City Council consider and adopt the following: public safety in this year's budget to increase police staffing and code enforcement. Implement action to address individuals with significant and repeated interactions with the law enforcement and emergency response system. Establish a safety and security program to offset calls for services incurred by the businesses to reduce police staffing and increase response times. Create an initiative to reduce retail crime through additional investigative and reporting resources. Support the developmental funding for a homelessness strategy to provide outreach and outgoing care to the unsheltered population downtown. These actions and investments are critical to meet the needs of most vulnerable in our community and addressing safety and security issues impacting downtown Calexico. It is through these actions we can continue to support and recover our businesses district and enable employers to hire, retain workers. We urge your leadership and immediate attention to these issues. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Blanca Morales.
Thank you, Ms. Morales. So I have a question. Blanca, hold on. Blanca Morales, hold on. Thank you. So now you're all fired up. That's good. I see that. So you're very active now. So get a hold of Louis Wong. I think he's here. Where's Louis?
It's right here.
Louis, He's a part of your bid, and Mr. Gronick. Team up with the chief, implement a plan, and get input from the merchants.
Right.
Right?
So we
And-
have been meeting, Robert has, and myself and Louis, we've been meeting with the building owners, so we have made some progress there. We just do need to now have a meeting. I did request a meeting through Esperanza. We would like to do monthly meetings instead of quarterly meetings, because there's a lot to be done, and the merchants are also, and the owners of the buildings are also wanting to engage and work with the city of Calexico as well, bridge with you guys.
Right. But in order to happen is we want a plan.
Right.
What is the plan that we can present to the citizens and the merchants? Also get a hold of Maribel, because she has the list of which ones are population that needs help. And yes, we want to be compassionate, but we also want to identify some of the troublemakers, right?
Right.
And that plan is going to give at least moving forward.
And it is unfortunate that Catholic Charities did shut down. We did use them a lot, even though they were open from certain hours, but at nighttime they were out of the streets. So that has hurt our city quite a bit. And us as also a healthcare clinic. We also, remember, we have Heffernan Healthcare District, that they're also supposed to be engaged with the community, and that's where we can also engage them in this plan so that they can help our firefighters and paramedics, because I know that we take the hit, and we have been for the past 26 years. So thank you for your service and your hard work.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I add something? I was talking to our DA, George Vargas, about neighborhood watch and about not enforcing the laws with the vagrants. He very specifically told me that he wanted me, but I told him I was going to ask somebody to organize a meeting with the merchants, downtown merchants. He told me, the DA, he wants to meet with the merchants.
Yeah, we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you. City Council comment?
Couple of things that occurred over the past few days. San Diego State University has had the commencement. It was a really great event, a great celebration of accomplishment for over 300 graduates, fellow Aztecs, and the future of our, this community also. So thank you to Dr. Gina Nunez for the invitation, and also to a lot of community members that showed up to support that. I think we need to do that. That's part of our plan also to, work on, recuperating our city. So higher education, it's a way to do that also, and supporting our institutions of higher learning. Also, over the weekend, I had a chance to attend as part of that Rotary Club, which I see some of my fellow members here. There was a great event that took place. Rondalla de Baja California was the main performer, so it was great. And also, what was really also great, that people that attended that event had a chance to see the exhibit, Creative Young Minds, that had opened up just a couple of days before that. And actually, Norma is over there, so there were some people that were asking me if they could purchase those artworks, some of those artworks. So something to think about, maybe our young artists that might be interested in selling some of their art pieces. There were people who were interested in maybe purchasing part of those pieces. But why do I mention that is because, this is the type of, event, community engagement that we also need to make sure that, we support. I know that the attendance was great, to both events, but I think, it can be better. I think, supporting the arts, supporting the events that occur through our community is a great way to also bring everybody together. So, and I just want to finish up also. I know as we start the graduations, I want to make sure that I congratulate everyone. I know Imperial Valley College soon will have a graduation. It's a great reason to celebrate, a great reason to congratulate all of our students who are achieving their educational goals, but then also to the families. So congratulations to that. And before I forget, congratulations to all the moms here. To all the mothers, happy Mother's Day, Feliz Dia de las Madres. I know that the last time that we were here, we didn't get a chance, I forgot, but again, we are here because of our moms. So I think, a round of applause to all the moms in the house. So, and of course, I'll be remiss in how to mention my wife, because I think she will really, get on my case later. So, but thank you, and thank you. Love you. So, thank you. That's my report.
Thank you. Congratulations are in order for the mothers, right? Thank you. Okay, so, so Mr. Solano, you came up here and gave us this information. That's very troubling for me. I asked last city council meeting that I asked Ms. Collier to give us an update on the big container, the blue container, and I don't see it here. And there must be a reason for that. I asked her a while ago if she had a report. She said, I have nothing to report. She alluded to the chief. And so, okay, as a point of reference for that is that when we have a citizen of our community that knows more than I, that it's troubling. Well, than me, right? We have a letter here that potentially has some implications, conflict of interest, I don't even know, where we have, according to the letter here, Mr. Joey Boots, what I see here, I'm not a contractor, but I can read. We have a company who, according to the letter, is bid for the finance department, the taking on the new rug and the stuff that we're going to do, right? Okay, long story short, the person who's in charge, or the owner of that company is Mr. Casillas. Not only that, but the second person is also another police officer. And the third person is the police officer who got fired, and he's part of that. So I don't know what's going on, but I think that deserves at least an inquiry, right? I mean, I asked for that. I had no report. So I'm concerned that we're giving contracts to police officers and they're not reporting it. Is that a conflict of interest? At least that on the face value. And like I said, I don't know. But that's why I needed information, but I guess I have to rely on citizens. Now, thank you, Mr. Solano, for that. Also, I respectfully requested that Mr. Solano had asked the city council to look into the FOIA request, the Freedom of Information Act request. Now, I don't know what's happening to that. Maybe he's gotten some information, maybe he's got nothing, I don't know. But I don't have a report on it either. But he's certainly here asking for that. And I said, I'm privileged to that information. Do I go get it myself and give it to him? No, that's what we have administration for. And I don't know what's happening there because I'm sure the clerk here is busy with other stuff. But the point is that he's still here asking for that. And we're going to be in default. The such case is a default. Okay, you eventually, there's a government code, government code allows you to request that information because it's supposed to be public information, unless there's investigations that the conflict or things of that nature, and then the people have to wait, right? But I don't know what's happening. But when we don't give the information to the citizens requested according to the government code, we're in default, and that's a lawsuit. Okay, now that's one thing. The other thing is, I know it was talked about the surveillance camera with the Department of Home Security or CBP. Well, it's not CBP, it's Border Patrol. They were here today, actually. Now, why people complain to us? We just gave a lease. We have no responsibility for what they do. That's technology they're using. Actually, I think that those comments should be addressed at Border Patrol or DHS at that level. We just attend. I mean, we're just leasing the property to them, and so I think to be all fairness, I appreciate the comments, but I think we should go somewhere else and complain on that. The other thing is Mr. Solano mentioned a very interesting topic, is I think we all, myself, I dropped the ball on that. I'll be responsible for that. I think we all as a community is adopt a park program. It doesn't take that much to get it started. Anybody can volunteer, and I will even venture to say that we should start a volunteer database where people can put in different skill sets. We all have different skill sets. That I can do this, I can help with, I can just stop this nonsense about, well, you can't go do this because of liability. Let me tell you something. We don't have staff, we don't have people, we don't have money. Why would we shut down on people who volunteer? I volunteer my time. So we have a skill set of people that can help us with that to mitigate some of those, especially parks. So why don't we get that program started? Adopt a park. A community can go there and say, you know what, I'll raise my hand. I know about sprinkler systems, I don't know about cutting. Yes, sign me up. And go clean the park. Have ownership. When you have ownership, you have skin in the game, you're going to take care of that. The other thing is the Chamber of Commerce. What happened to the Chamber of Commerce? I think we all agree we need a Chamber of Commerce, right? So I know I talked to you, Mr. Louis Wong, about this. I don't know if you're still involved with that or they're not there anymore, whatever, but that building's run down. We try to bring it back to the table, and the minute we said we're going to refurbish it, they didn't want us to increase the rent. Well, guess what? It takes money to make money. So I think we should talk about restarting the Chamber of Commerce, work with the merchants, bring them to the table, and what's their concerns, so we can have some business in Calexico. And certainly that's part of it. By the way, it was offered a long time ago. The Sun Community Federal Credit Union, even including a couple of weeks ago, I spoke to the manager and some representatives. They're willing to refurbish that free. If we only enter a contract or an agreement, not even a contract, because we don't want to be landlords. If we enter an agreement with some community, they'll refurbish it for free and make it a community center for everybody. You want to have a Chamber of Commerce, you want to have meetings there, anybody can use it, and they're willing to flip the bill for us. Why we're not approaching them? Because, by the way, they're relocating their office, so whether by Cole Road and Ranch Fontana, I think that next to the other bank there. So they're going to relocate there. That's what their plan is. So why we're not approaching them? They're stakeholders in our community. They have money. They can do it. And we all share that. It's a community center / Chamber of Commerce / whatever you want to do, right? You have meetings there. So those are my comments. I'm very concerned about what's going on here. I think the administration has to do a better job of being, not going to use the word transparent. I know they got the job. They're working with limited resources. I see that, but I think we can do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno.
Mayor Romo, may I allow you to respond
Okay.
two of the questions?
Okay.
Two of the questions to Ms. So I have an email that Ms. Ronnie sent to all of you with all the dates the information has been provided to Mr. Solano. You have it in your email if you want to refer to that?
Esperanza, if we can just not address
Yes.
that, we can address
Okay.
it, with
Okay,
you know,
but it's
yeah, no, yeah,
documented.
but just
In regards, and I failed to update him on the trash container. The trash container is outside because we replaced in desks that were
Yes.
damaged. They have been damaged actually with the remodeling of the finance department, and we're dropping all the trash in that
okay,
container.
and
That's it.
that's fine. It's just that the request I think is a little bit different, but we can discuss it offline and make sure that we respond to whatever information is being requested. Thank you.
Ms. Colorio, clarify, was Mr. Casilla involved for this?
I'm not sure about that because the vetting process was done at the finance department by Ms. Marta Gomez. She did the process and requesting, it was like painting and the removal of the carpet, the edges of the carpet. It was a small job because they did a bidding process to replace the floors, and Home Depot submitted the proposal. But what Home Depot said, the how do you call those? The edges of the floor, the zoclo, baseboard. They didn't include that into the bidding from the Home Depot to replace the floors. So they told us that they will not be able to bring the floors and install them until we find someone to remove those baseboard and to repaint. So Ms. Gomez did the process. I will forward to you the process and what she provided it to me, and check the licenses. That's all I can provide you. But it was a small bit. I don't think it was more than $9,000. And that was to remove those baseboard and to paint the building.
Thank you, Ms.
But I will
Carter.
provide you with that information.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Again, congratulations to all the police officers. Okay, next consent agenda.
Move for approval of the consent agenda.
I need to excuse the number 11, please.
Oh, we already removed number 10. It's number 10, actually. No?
No, 11.
What is it that you want?
The list with the Border Patrol?
But what is it that you want?
I need to excuse this item. for
To table
11.
it?
You need to discuss it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're asking to be pulled, or what are you asking?
I only will do for all consent agenda except number 10, but I need to discuss the 11, please.
Well, I move to leave it there as such, and I move to leave it there. Don't, who seconds that?
A second. Well, I have already made the motion to approve.
Okay.
Okay.
We have public comments.
But it's not agreeing in 11.
It is true, but I make a motion to approve,
Uh-huh.
and there is a second.
Separate 11 because it's not agreed with item 11.
Mr. Attorney?
Yeah, I'm looking, City Clerk, I think we may have public comments on the consent calendar.
Okay, no public comments.
So you can actually do the motion and the second, but then open for discussion.
That's fine.
Yes.
Open for discussion.
Jesús Solano.
What item?
Item number 11.
11, public comment.
Okay, what item are we on? 10 or 11? Make up your mind.
11.
11, okay. I'm in agreement, to continue leasing with the Border Patrol and Customs. That antenna has been there for quite a few years.
2000.
Okay, before it was just something symbolic, $1 a year. Then it was brought up to the council. Council said, we'll send it back. They came with an offer, and I think was it $1,500 or something like that. Then they sent it back. Then the Border Patrol comes back and he says, $9,000 for a year. We started before was $1. So now we have $9,000. That's something. Now, we have always been friendly with the Border Patrol and Customs, and they are always there as a support group for the community. And I believe that we owe it to them. Okay? We need to maintain that good relationship. If there's some concerned citizens that we know that we have here, they can bring it up to the Border Patrol, Customs. If they believe that they have a legal issue, there's a due process. They should follow a due process, What I would recommend this council is, go ahead and listen to them as you listen to me, to other citizens. But don't let them harass you or intimidate you, like Comité Cívico and Imperial Valley Equity go out there in the county and try to harass them, You guys are up there. You guys are legislators, okay? You decided to be up there to represent the community, okay? So my recommendation to you is hold your ground. They're entitled to do whatever they want. There's due process, let them follow it. If they're entitled to, say, sue the city, let them go ahead and sue the city. But my belief is that their concerns should be addressed first to Border Patrol and Customs, because you guys are just leasing the property. You guys do not own the antenna. You guys do not do the maintenance. You guys only leasing a section, what is it, 20 by 20 or 10 by 10, something like that? That's it. And they're right away. You don't send anybody from maintenance to go out there and do any repairs. None of the maintenance guys go up there checking the antennas. So my recommendation is hold your ground and don't do a disservice to the Border Patrol and Customs. Don't start burning bridges. Once you start burning bridges, we are going to be in deep shit.
Victor Legaspi.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, and Attorney. I don't understand why every time when this came up, it reminded me during the license plate readers era. It's deja vu, I think it was around the same month, 2023. Why is it when we have government, state, coming up with technology that will prevent crime, that'll assist the police who are obviously short-staffed in going after these criminals? I was talking to the Border Patrol agents, and yes, we work with Border Patrol agents hand in hand. These are good people. So without them, I mean, backup would be scary, because when you're working 2 and 1, that's your backup is right there in green. So it's important to have these cameras, and it's manned by a human being. I was talking to the agents. It's manned by a human being, not a robot. It's manned by them, and not only are they looking for illegal activities, but if there is something that needs to be addressed to the police, they'll give us a call. And if the police needs to look at the video recordings, they're going to allow the police to look at the video recordings. So it is ridiculous. It would be foolish, and I'm glad you guys are going to approve it. I believe you guys are going to approve it, to allow this to go forward. Like I said, it just took me back to the license plate readers. Let's not make that same mistake. Thank you.
Raúl Ureña.
Muy buenas tardes, querida alcaldesa. If I may ask for my accommodations for 4.5 minutes. Primero que nada, hablando de la transparencia and form of government, there was only one promise that was made by Camilo Garcia after the recall, and that is that we would listen to the community on topics. And today, this council was on the paper. Joseph Guillin out here says, for the record, said nobody cares. Let me tell you who does care. Jesus Arellano, who was on the paper today, West Side resident, he said, quote, "They have never asked us for permission. Nothing, nothing, nothing. They arrived, put up a tower, and the tower has been there for years. Now you put it on the consent agenda. Is this the kind of transparency you promised? Out of the only promise you have made, it seems like it is broken. Mr. Moreno, it seems like you misunderstand the scope of your work. It seems like you don't understand that it is in your responsibility to approve this contract. You are approving a contract on behalf of the city of Calexico, where the city of Calexico has the right to put the terms on that tower that is being put so close to a functioning community. If anything, we should be reaching out to Border Patrol and offering them to put it closer to the border, maybe at the Calexico International Port, the Calexico International Airport. There are concerns about surveillance, and Mr. Legaspi mentioned them right here, although a bit distortion, because this coalition or myself, we're not against technology. You can have both. You can have your cake and eat it too, in the sense that we can implement technology and update our privacy concerns, update our policy and privacy procedures. It says Electronic Frontier Foundation, another person, another organization you're not listening to and not taking into account, as much as you're not taking into account the West Side residents, said that nothing in your contract prevents Border Patrol from installing artificial intelligence. So yes, we're going to start off on a man-made, on a man-controlled tower, yes, but nothing in your 20-year lease prevents them from upgrading it to an artificial intelligence machine that is going to take not only pictures, but also read thermal movements, los cuerpos que se mueven every time you get out of your house, all of that data, and no limitations on what they can use that data for. Yes, we can have security technology. Yes, we can update how and restrict and govern, because that's our job, to govern how it is used. Let me remind you, Councilmember Moreno, because it seems you don't understand your job. Your job is to vote. Your job is to understand these issues. And just like Rosie Fernandez signed a contract without council authority in 2019 for the Border Patrol, I will say that again, just like Ms. Fernandez, just like Ms. Yes, excuse me, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Moreno, if I may remind you, Mr. Moreno, if I may remind you, this is in the scope of your job just as much as it is when Rosie Fernandez signed in 2019 without council authority. It is in your job to assess. Right now, you're not taking into account the West Side. You've already come up in the newspaper. It is shameful this is on consent agenda. If there should be a town hall on anything, it should also be on this issue. We can have a town hall on the fire station. We should also be having a town hall on this tower that is going to monitor and surveil the community. If we believe in transparency, it's not enough to say we believe in transparency. We must act upon it on all issues. Thank you so much.
June Kim.
Again, it's too tense. And I understand, fully understand, we all citizens, they are concerned about their own privacies. Is that cameras gonna guarantee us to our privacies? Are you like to living in the house, somebody watching your house? Put the camera on top of the street? Are you willing to live in there? Yes. Security for the governments, border security is very important. Yes. But we are the own that land, we are the one, council, the one who protect our citizens' interest. And at least you can put it there as conditions to make sure not invading our public's own privacies. And same time, to give the access to the police departments to monitoring them, make sure we're not watching it. I mean, the CBP watching every individual's house and who's going in and out. I believe they have the funds, they have a manpower to be able to handle that. Please don't give them blank check to them for the patrol. I believe they know the law very likely, so they're gonna be controlling on their way to try to protect their privacies. But our city of Calexico has to put in there as to make sure we got protected from that illegal invading our private life. Thank you.
Daniela Flores. Maritza Hurtado.
Good afternoon, Maritza Hurtado, the team leader for the Calexico recall There we go. Can we go ahead and start over? Okay. EFF. Who is EFF? This is the reason why it's so important to have the public records requests completed appropriately, because the public does have the right to know who is EFF. We just read a letter here, these people here from Ivy Equity and Justice, which is obviously very problematic to hear that. We all know that Ivy Equity and Justice were also very involved with EFF during the 2 recalled members' service to the city. We found that through a public records request. EFF was involved also inserting themselves in the decision-making processes here in City Council with regard to those license plate readers. So EFF has no business in Calexico, Chief, and we don't see why these people here keep inserting them. We can easily use other agencies as well, but to see EFF involve themselves, we need to be a little concerned, because did we forget we live in a border city? I think that people here that have so many negative thoughts and negative relationships with law enforcement, that's why Raul Ureña and Gilberto Manzanares were recalled. Because in February 2023, 23, before everything was started, they displayed plenty of anti-law enforcement and anti-protection. They basically have favorite sayings such as F ICE, F the police. They go around talking about how they had a sniper gun pointed at his forehead. We had to hear that kind of stuff. So we're not into that. This is a council that is here for leadership, not activism. And I'm going to remind you all again, the relationship that these 2 people that go here and go up, and I really want this council to listen to this, that when you hear this negativity here of this group, Ivy Equity and Justice, together with Alexis Castro, who sits at Senator Steve Padilla's office, who was also involved in those emails that we discovered through public records requests. Thank you, City, for allowing us to understand how these activists were leading this city thinking that they were leaders, which they're not. Because if you're leaders, you will understand that your community, your police department, cannot use one less piece of equipment for the protection of 40,000 people plus. That's right next to a 1 million inhabitants in Mexicali with a lot of border crime. We know that. We can't avoid that, can we? So speaking like that, as I've heard here before, all you're doing is making sure to let the world know that you desire a weak police department. But that's why you got recalled, Raul, because you're not going to have a weak department in this city. Okay? Thank you.
Javier Gonzalez.
Good evening, Mayor, Honorable Council, public. I wasn't going to speak on this, but you guys are speaking. I guess that I'm the only one here that has worked those cameras. I was a Border Patrol agent for the El Centro sector, which was all the way from the airport all the way to that tower at the top. So if it weren't for that, I don't know about the new cameras. I haven't studied the new technology, but if it weren't for those cameras, 90% of the people that cross the border would escape. I used to work out in the field in Mount Signal at 2, 3 in the morning. It was dark, and then the people that were crossing, let's call them like that, they would say, "How can you see me in the middle of the night with those big cameras that are 2 miles away? At night, you glow like a star." So the other thing, if you put them at Nosotros Park, those cameras cannot see down. They won't be able to monitor the park. They're too close. Those cameras are for long distance, so if you put it next to the border, it doesn't help. You probably see all the way to Mexicali, the other side, so that's why they always put them like 2 or 3 miles separated, but those are the ones that are keeping it safe. It's like they tell you, 90% of those people that cross, if it weren't for those cameras, especially at night, will get away. So if you want to take it away, people are going to cross through that river, they're going to go into the neighborhoods, and like I say, I don't know anything about the new technology, but those cameras work. They're the eyes and ears of the Border Patrol that are working down there and that are trying to keep our community safe. And that's all I wanted. I used to work for the Border Patrol. 5 years. I worked almost every other day at those cameras, and they do work. Like I say, I'm not talking about the new technology. I don't know what that is today, but we do need those cameras because they're the eyes and ears of the Border Patrol. And I mean, whether you like it or not, they keep our community safe. Thank you.
Rosie Rising.
Good evening. Rosie Fernandez Rising, 1119 Camila Street, Calexico. You know, I find it to be ridiculous what's going on right now. Why didn't you just vote? Why do you allow these ignorant fools come up here and try to influence you, Mrs. Mayor? Or maybe you didn't understand what's in the agenda. You know, we need our Border Patrol. We need to work with them. And what difference is the cameras that they want to put with where the electric cars at? Didn't they want to put cameras? Weren't you all in favor of that? You know, it's ridiculous, really. And you know what I find it so offensive? That you allow people to come up here and offend people in the audience. What kind of a mayor are you to allow that? And also the attorney and our city manager, why do you allow that? Why do you allow people coming up here and throw trash at people that are sitting in the audience? That's not very respectful. Because you, as mayor, need to put a stop to it. No wonder they're taking you out. Good night.
Jordana Selwick.
Good evening, Mayor and council people. I have a few comments on the Border Patrol cameras. In the last 3 months, it was either people crossing or it was homeless people that completely shattered a ATM machine on First Street. If any of you have any knowledge of what it costs to replace ATMs, it's anywhere from $75,000 to $150,000 because of all not only the technology, because of all the regulation, federal and state regulation. On March 22nd, I was physically attacked at Rancho Frontera condominiums. Now, not hurt, not punched, but held, and my phone also touched by a person that was there without any clothes on, just shorts, and then I asked him to get dressed and to leave. And there's many other things that I can cite that I could say a lot of times I'm not the happiest person with the Calexico Police Department. I also have a video from 3 days ago, a guy urinating right there on the building. I have him on video and I know who he is and I know his name. So I have gone in the last 2 weeks and having my own camera system, a very upgraded one put that I will share any day with the police department, Border Patrol, City of Calexico. And I agree that maybe things need to be looked at, and yes, there's AI, but this is the new generation, we gotta get used to it. And I don't want, the one thing I'd like to make for sure is that the city does have some kind of agreement where they can share the information, but if the Border Patrol or the city comes to me, they can use any of my properties or buildings to put systems, because this is getting exhausting and tiring. We need protection, we need police, we need fire department, but they also need the assistance of the public and they need the assistance of other federal agencies. And there shouldn't be any discussion. We don't control what, there's videos like, I think Raul said today, cameras, the police are recording this. Yes, there are. And what are we gonna do about it? When it's convenient, we want cameras. When it's not, we want them turned off. The other thing too is a lot of things are spoken about promises and promises. Stop making promises, do actions. Promises aren't worth the paper they're written or the saliva that's used to spew them out. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Alexis Rangel.
Alexis Rangel, Calexico resident. I just want everybody to remember you have cell phones. If you've ever looked at or had a picture taken while you're holding your cell phone, your face is screened I don't know how many times. They take pictures of it. So surveillance is a big issue. I'm in agreement with allowing the Border Patrol to do their job. I've always been an advocate for employees to have the tools that they need in order to do their job. But I don't understand why it's okay to take video here, like Ms. Selwick said, you can take video here. You can, and I'm not against the video here. And I'm not against the people out there checking my bag. I used to work at TSA, and you go into the airport knowing that you're going to be checked for security purposes. So I would say if your big issue is about surveillance, and I agree with Mr. Moreno on this one, if your big issue is with surveillance, that is more a federal issue that you should go complain to them about. Thank you.
Marianne Hinojosa.
I'm super small. Hello, good evening. My name is Marianne Hinojosa. I live in 1056 F. Torres. My house is your house. And I just want to come up here and say, I don't know anything about politics, but I do know that October 2021, my cousin was brutally murdered, and I talked to her at Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, she was gone. And you know what? This murderer was not captured like this. But you know what? Who did help? You want to know who? The Border Patrols. And everybody's so concerned about my privacy. Thank you. Everybody's so concerned about privacy, but we're all honorable citizens. What do we have to hide? What do we have to hide? We don't hide anything. If anything, we have our cell phones, as the previous person who came up here said. The way my cousin was murdered was brutal. And this could be your sister, this could be your cousin, this could be your daughter, your grandma, your mother. And we're up here saying, you know what? I don't want that cameras. I don't want help from the Border Patrol. What are you talking about? People die. People can be murdered. There's evil in this world, and we're here saying, no, we don't want help. So think about that. I do not wish upon anybody to lose someone the way I lost my cousin. It's truly horrifying, traumatizing, and I am really thankful to the Border Patrol and their cameras who were able to capture that murderer and bring peace to our family. Thank you.
Other comments?
They have a motion, they need roll call.
Yes.
Roll call.
Mayor Gloria Romo.
Okay.
Mr. Garcia
To
made a motion.
approve the agenda,
Yes.
to approve the agenda.
Yes.
Yes. No, all the agenda, except for 10 that was pulled.
Oh, no. My vote is no.
Councilmember Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. My only reason is only the item 11 is we need citizens to be more informed. Tengo muchos mensajes aquí que quieren información nada más. ¿Ok? Es transparencia, ¿no? O sea, pero lo demás está bien. Ok.
Ms. Romo, Mayor Romo. It's the number 14.
Yeah, I know. Okay, discussion and potential action. 14.2.1, approval of resolution to amend City Council annual rotation policy.
We have public comments.
Okay.
Victor Gaspi.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, attorney, and city manager. Soon there's going to be the changing of the guard. I don't know who's going to be the next mayor. But I recently saw a video in El Centro City Council that was done on, I believe it was May the 7th, where El Centro Councilman Garcia is in hot water. But I saw the professionalism of the mayor there. How everybody stood their grounds and no one was yelling, no one was getting out of hand. That's how it should be. With past mayors, it has not been that way. As a reminder, as a mayor, you need to represent the interests of the city. Whoever becomes mayor, please concentrate on the interests of the city. Show professionalism. Have ethics behind it. Work as a team amongst the council members. There's no I and we. It's important, like Mr. Escobar said, 5-0, 5-0. In this case, 3-0. Allow technology, push for technology to go forward if it has to do with the security of the city. Border Patrol came up here, they did their, well, we had talked about the security, the surveillance cameras, and that was already passed. Good job on that. Support the project that department heads bring to the council. We have a lot of talented department heads personnel. Support what they bring to you guys. Let's go forward. Let's not go backwards. Let's remove that stigma that has been following us around. And I have faith that it will be removed when people are no longer going to say only in Calexico. Let's remove that. Thank you very much.
Jesús Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Rosemont. I have a great concern how this council has been operating. Okay, and, you know, I don't want to drag chains, go to the previous council, the previous administration. That's all. You know, we've got to move on with what's in front of us. You know, what we have in front of us is what we have right now, and I strongly believe that the mayor, it's a symbolic position that the mayor takes. Okay, right now it's 3 persons up there as council. Every single vote once, just 1 person, 1 vote. Okay. The position as a presiding officer is just symbolically. You don't have any authority beyond that. Just as presiding the meeting. And you need to understand whoever's going to be the chair up there. If we are going to better Calexico and have the community to participate and willing to come here and listen to us, okay, we need to respect the community. I don't know what the attorney's doing up there. I mean, because if it's not him, it's somebody else. I think we have like, what, 4 or 5 attorneys? And when we ask them a question, they don't know what the hell's going on. I'll get back to you. But my concern is, why is the attorney permitting it and the mayor permitting, you know, to be bashing and dragging people from the audience? That right there is a point of order, okay? And I'm ashamed of all 3 of you right now. Nobody's bringing up the point of order. And supposedly, we talk that we want to work together, we want to benefit the community, crossing the aisles and all that. We need to start with that. For the future, if there's an item, and Solano is on item 10, bring up my name. Don't bring up my name when I'm in the aisle to bash me. I'm using myself as an example, okay? So we need to have more respect over here. Anybody comes on here and starts bashing people out there in the community and disrespecting, you need to hold them accountable. If they don't listen, throw them out. Simple as that. Okay. But if the name is in the item for action and discussion, you're entitled to be dragged into the conversation because your name is for action and discussion. We need to understand that. And then on top of that, we need to have a decorum, how to proceed. A while ago, some members started talking on item 11 in public comments. Come on. They talk on the item on public comments, they turn around and talk on the item on 11. That's point of order right there. I was going to bring it up, but I said, well, I'll just let him go. I'll bring it up when this item comes up. The other thing, you need to start filling up the commissions. Don't just have them there as rubber stamps. And on top of that, if you form a commission, respect their advice. Take it into consideration. If not, don't fill up the commissions. Blanca just came up a while ago. Build up the commission.
Julie Kim.
Well, 14-1. And I was mentioning, sadly, we had to go through the recall process to try to make our council working better for benefit of the citizens of the Calexico. A sad story is gone. And now we have to, about a year ago, little over a year ago, council changed the terms in the middle of the years. I believe it's February. So then they made the change in February to change the older organizations and all the terms of the mayorships. Now, we made go through all the embarrassing the process to finally we have some chance to make the cleanup. Why we don't go for the past way? Actually, was end of early 1st of the July, or the like they didn't have a while of the December. It's like a more officially to we can have the terms, and our system goes through with the terms. We were designed to of the July because to starting new physical systems. So they were starting to bring in that time, so mayorship to changing to with all our cities, the financial abilities or financial report. I was suggesting council for that. For today's meeting, I've been seeing it. I don't know, Mr. Ramos still have ability conducting as a mayor. It's so bad. So Mr. Solano was saying this, mayors should not engage in any discussion through the meeting with the public to public or public with council. Maybe bring their own issues, then if issues appears from the public comment time, then we can do that shortly to discussing. If we need it deeply, we have to bring into the agenda for the next meeting, and then we go on. And our today meeting and the last meeting, we were going on and on and on. There was arguing, there was attacking each other. There was no stop. The mayors conducting the meeting has supposed to be from in the between, like referees. So make sure our citizens arguing each other, we shouldn't do that. If you don't allow to hear to argue each other and it's making us very embarrassed. So think about this one, our council members. In one way, when we gonna change the mayorship, and the other one is, do we gonna be ability to holding until the July without any conflict? If we decide to stay to July, we make sure make sure our council have to work together to officially conducting respectability to each others. Thank you.
Maritza Hurtado.
Maria Hurtado, 404 East 2nd Street, former recall team leader. This item is a very sad item. Honestly, we don't want to see this have to happen. However, the majority of the citizens of Calexico believe that this mayorship is the sole reason why the recall cost $128,000 additional. And so that decision by itself should be the reason why you should no longer have the confidence. Well, you don't, the confidence of the citizens. And that position should not be yours. The other thing too is that I'm really proud of the young lady. I don't see her anymore. Great conversation there, speech for you. That's the reality, Mayor. That is your reality. You live in a border city. And that right there was very sad. I'm so proud of her, she didn't cry. But you went ahead and voted against the Border Patrol right after she just told you that her friend was murdered and that the Border Patrol cameras actually helped the family for closure. I can't believe, well actually I do because we saw it for the whole time here. For a whole year we saw you supporting these individuals with these types of decisions and votes. So you're totally disconnected from the community, and that's not a good thing for leadership right now. We're a border city and we need a lot of help. And again, you know, we didn't recall you, but at this point we thought maybe there would be a better response, and there wasn't. And with those kinds of reactions that you have to the community, you are absolutely dangerous in that position. So I think at this moment you are expensive and you are dangerous. So I think you need to go. And I do support the council for their decision, although it is hard. But we need to end this era. We need to end the era of the dictatorship, as Mr. Solano says. We're here for a very serious thing now. We need to move on. We need to heal. And those solutions come from the really bad leadership that we have had, the offensive leadership, the leadership who has consistently violated us and didn't care. A leadership, and when I'm talking leadership, I'm talking mayorship, who criticized and went beyond any measures possible to ensure that she told the public that our registrar of voters was a fraud. Now, why would we want that type of leadership that lies to us, that offends us, and that violates us? So unfortunately, today, we will have to make that change. But trust us, this is about the betterment of the community and nothing else. Thank you.
We got to make a motion on the item, right? We have to make a motion on the item.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have to make a motion to amend it. So I make a motion to amend it?
Yes.
Second.
Second, roll call.
Who made the
Mayor
motion?
Guerrero,
No.
Councilmember Javier Moreno,
Yes.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, did anybody know what happened? We made a motion to amend it. It was 2-1.
Okay.
Motion passes, yes. Right.
14-2, City Council recognition, appointment of Mayor of Calexico, and my motion is appointment Mr. Camilo Garcia for Mayor de Calexico, California. This is my motion. And
You have,
letter E,
you have public comments?
Yes.
Okay.
comments?
I'll second that, by the way.
Jesus Solano.
Queso Solano, 426 Rosemont. I'm in agreement to appoint in Mr. Camilo as our new mayor and pro tem, Mr. Javier Moreno. And let's make sure that we work together, okay? Hear out the community, listen to the community. And like I was saying a while ago, you know, your commissions are your foot soldiers. Listen to them. They can really help a lot. Take their advice into consideration. And one thing that I would suggest is for this council to do some workshops on parliamentary procedure, Robert Rule, Brown Act, and all that stuff, you know, crash course for the community, whoever is willing to participate in commissions. That way, at least we can have an idea how to function in a regular meeting. How the motions are made, how they're second, and who presides, and why that person presides, and what's the responsibility of the chairperson. So that is my recommendation for you for the future, and let's just work together, and let's move on.
June Kim.
Okay, as now I understood our council members to wants to change the leadership. I have a suggestion together, and we've been several times ran over by majority vote for the changing the terms of the mayorship. Mr. Garcia is ran over 2 times because they have 3 strong votes, so they just ran over. It shouldn't be there for the future. I believe this is the last time we change the mayorship because somebody has majorities. We're supposed to go to our traditional way to when they have elections, they have the largest voters get vote council, they go to first and second, third. So we're supposed to respect those common conditions for the future council. And also, I believe we not finished the meeting yet, so we can change the terms of our mayorships. I support Mr. Camilo Garcia as a mayor, but his mayorship until finishing to first of the meeting next year, which is about a month, a little over a month. So that way we can have from there, we can have come and going in same terms. So I'd like to suggesting council to change the agenda to terms, conditions, go to next year, the starting problem today, and next term is ending for this time only to changing our what called organization until what they call the July 1st meeting. So that way you stay a little longer, but we can have a more stable or more official changing terms. I suggest to council, you still have a chance to change it, but you stay a little more longer, and then we have next year we have a new council to change the mayorship until next year. Thank you.
More comments? Okay.
Mayor Gloria Ron.
Yes.
Councilmember Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Motion passes.
To pass him to coordinate the meeting. Switch.
So then, no, we need to make a motion for Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, okay, good.
So I will make a motion for Mr. Moreno as Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second that.
Mayor Guerrero,
No.
Councilmember Javier Moreno,
Yes.
Councilmember Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Aunque no sea el mayor. Ok. ¿Cambiamos?
Thank you. First, I want to start by, this is a bit emotional. Emotional from the sense that, we continue with a new chapter. This is part of what I said before, and I think it has been alluded in the comments, and I think people are taking notes, which is great. It's part of the healing process. It's part of bringing our community together. And yes, people have been asking for specifics as to what that means. What it means is that starting with respecting with each other. You want to know concrete plans. The concrete plans, are going to come from all of you also. You're asking for your commissions to be more active. You want for you also having the ability to serve your community, to volunteer, to be informed. Okay, all of those are the projects. All the business people that have come forward and asked for safety, asked for support, asked for assistance. All of those are the projects, because you as a business person, you contribute to the local economy. You create jobs. You contribute to our tax base. You create, opportunities for people. And that's what we have been asking, for an opportunity to be part of this community without the fear of being chastised, without the fear of being disrespected, regardless of where you stand on the different issues. Moving forward, that's going to be the tone. We're going to respect each other. We're going to agree to disagree. We're going to make sure that these meetings are expedient, that we can get to the business at hand, that we can get our points across without having to stay here until midnight. I want a rebuilding process that starts from the inside out. I want to make sure that you as the staff knows that you're appreciated, knows that you're valued. I want to make sure that you as a citizen, you're appreciated, you're valued, you're part of Calexico. Again, regardless where you stand. This is not about politics. Yeah, we do the politics, but this is more about, bringing our community together. How many times have we had the firefighters, the police officers, and our municipal employees asking, begging, we want to be part of it. Our people at parks, I heard the gentleman about, the New River Walkway. Yes, that was one of my concerns from the beginning. And we know also that the issue that has been there also is that every time we build projects, there's no plan for sustainability. But I know that there's a lot of help also out there. Now we just have to make it possible and easier for all of us to contribute. We need to work on creating a very robust program for volunteers, for you to be able to help us out. We're going to count on you also. We're going to ask you to help. And that help starts now. You are going to tell us, right? And we're going to agree to disagree. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank for sticking around till 9 p.m. And we still have a long agenda, but we'll try to move through that agenda as expedient, but also as, you know, with the due diligence that we need to put in these items. So bear with us. That's something that I want to work on. So I want to thank, you know, my family. I want to thank my wife, my children that are here. I know that every time I go home after a meeting, you know, that's the person that I talk to. That's the person that keeps me sane. And we do that because we love Calexico. We don't look for the name, we don't look for the pictures. We look for the love of Calexico and the benefit of Calexico. My children that are here, some of my kids that are here, Cesar, his wife, Edna, my son, Camilo Jr., my sister-in-law, you know, they are my rock. And my son also, you know, Alejandro and his wife. I do this for them. And what I want from them, I want for all of you. So please, this is not an overnight project. This is something that is going to take time. I want to thank all of you again. I want to thank my fellow, you know, elected official also. I know that he says, you know, I'm going to be there. The mayor from Brawley. I want to thank also, you know, a representative from ICTC. And I can keep going on and on, going on and on mentioning all of you, but I think, you know, we will be here tonight. And remember, I don't want to contradict myself as far as attending this meeting, but I just want to take this space and time to express all these feelings that I have been holding back all this time. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for caring about Calexico. Thank you for taking the time to putting the sweat and tears to bring back Calexico. This is the beginning, people. Thank you, and I don't know if someone else has a comment from my colleagues, so we move on.
I sure do. You know,
We love you, Mayor Garcia.
I don't want to spoil his night because, you know, well deserved. I had a conversation with Camilo about a year ago, and we can say that we buried the hatchet, and I apologize to him. Okay. And just recently I did speak with him because we got a lot of work to do. I promised him I would do my best to support him. But he is the leader now, and he deserves that. I wish him the best. I know he'll do a good job. He started in Calexico, and we're here to support him. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to move on to item
15. No, congratulations. Otra vez.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we're going to move on to item 15, discussion, action, filling of city council vacancies created by the recall of council members Raul Ureña and Gilberto Manzanares.
Want to handle that one?
Staff report by the attorney.
Yes, so we reviewed previous appointments that happens in the city for other reasons, the recalls, And we concluded that there was a process in which the city council directed staff to develop an application with certain recommendations about experience and things like that, and to notice the vacancies with the application, posted on the website and posted on social media. And so we would like you direction to see if you have any particular interest in individuals that have certain criteria, or you just want to follow the same application process that it was done before.
So what I would like to see, since we already had this process established, I would like to have the same process.
Okay.
I know that at the previous appointment, they also included a background check, but I don't think there's a need for that.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that they meet the requirements as stated by the law to be able to be an elected official, or to the requirements that we use as in a regular election. So as far as the timeline, that's my comment, and then I will allow my colleagues to chime in also. What I would like to do, starting tomorrow, release the applications. We will do a week of applications, or until the next which will be. I have my notes right here.
The 24th.
The 24th of
yes.
May.
So May 16th through the 24th. Okay.
Applications to be turned in at the city clerk office by close of business date. And then at the next regular council meeting, we will have the appointment of individuals through a interview process. We will have, so it can be open to the public.
You want to do all the interviews in public?
Correct.
Okay, good.
I don't know if...
It'll be in June the 5th is the next meeting.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Mayor. That sounds good, huh, Mr. Mayor? Camilo Garcia. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know what the process has been. I know Mr. Garcia was appointed one time. I was not privy to that information. What I like to see is we don't want the employees picking their next boss. We want the citizens picking their next boss, or the other way around, right? We work for you guys. So I don't know what the process is, what that entails. I know we have a deadline. So maybe you can enlighten us on this. How was that done before?
So the way it goes, we advertise the application.
Okay.
And the only involvement that we have as a staff is just to receive the applications and put it in the agenda, and you review each one of the applications, and you discuss, and you
Right.
vote
And
for it.
will those be in closed session when we review the applications, or we're going to be here?
It has to be in public.
Okay, so we review. Okay, I like that. So I review in public. You get to see they're not candidates, they're applicants, because they're applying, right? Candidates when you run for city council. So they're applicants. Now, I have my standards. I believe if we're going to appoint somebody to these chairs, well, they're going to have a moral compass. Okay? They're just going to go with us. I mean, we can go into details, but that's my standards. I agree, yes, you shouldn't have a live scan. I mean, I like to see a live scan. I like to see who these people are, right? But it's okay. And we get to do it in public. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because you get to also see them, who they are, and we make those decisions up here, and I like that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And actually, there is background, Mr. Moreno. It's from the previous appointment, and it's on the file, on archives from our meetings.
Right.
Yes.
Anybody else? Or public comments?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jesús Solano.
Jesus Solano, 426 Rosemont, Calexico. What I recommend this council is to make sure, that you do your due diligence on the candidates that are willing to come up here and participate, because don't forget, they will continue representing Calexico as a whole, not a selective, inclusive group, okay? We're sick and tired of that. 5 persons represent the entire Calexico. If you are going to select someone that you know beforehand that's going to be inclusive, okay, my recommendation is don't select that person. And you mentioned a while ago about not having your employees appointing who is going to be up here. That's your decision, okay? Take the advice from the community, okay? But don't let staff or city management or the city attorney advise you what to do. You can listen to them to a certain degree, but that's up to you. You guys are going to have to own it. And on top of that, on any transition in government, there's a restructure, there's a learning curve in every government. And I believe that the legal assistant, this firm that we have, has just been draining us for years and years and years. I might be wrong in the numbers. I'm not a CPA, but I'm talking since they came aboard up to right now, maybe $8 million or maybe more, you know. So I believe this council should really think hard and get an in-house attorney. Every single time that you have an attorney here, I don't know, it's 5 or 6 or 4, I can't remember now, okay? But there's different opinions. They can't give you a straight answer. They always have to come back. They have to look into it. So what does that mean? I have to look into it. It's like a register. Chichin, more dollars. You ask another question, I got to look into it. Chichin, more dollars. So you need to have an in-house attorney. And when you come up to the final decision, okay, make sure that you do it between you 3. If you need some legal assistance to participate, okay, go ahead and do it. But it's your decision.
Thank you, Mr. Solano.
Because you are going to be held accountable to the community, and we will hold you accountable.
Thank you.
Mayor Garcia, I have one question for you.
Sure.
We have 2 big items on June the 5th. I would like to recommend to have a special meeting for the appointments, if it's possible.
If that's allowable by law to have a special meeting, yes,
Yes.
that's fine, because I would like to have plenty of time to make sure that people can participate and have the time to also state their ideas or whatever it is that they have to share with the council and with the community.
So what I will suggest, if you allow me, is maybe issue the notice tomorrow, which is May the 16th, deadline to submit applications May the 23rd, so that we can post on the 24th. Even though there is a special meeting, we would like to post like 3 days in advance or 4 days in advance, so people can see the applications, and then have a meeting, Memorial Day on 27, have a meeting on the 28th or 29th.
That's fine.
Yes.
Work those details.
Yes.
And just let us know and make sure that, the community has plenty of time.
Yes,
So they can look at the applications, so you will have access to look at the applications. It will be a regular posted agenda, and also you will have a chance to come and witness the process.
Yes, so what we'll do, we're gonna determine the date for the special meeting, either the 28th or the 29th, depending on the availability of the stream line, so it can be streamed during the election. And
Okay.
that will be the item for that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Just listen. Any more comments?
Mr. Jun Kim?
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Garcia. For the new leadership, I believe you're gonna start spreading what you're thinking, what you've been thinking for the House Mayor. Probably you're gonna have a chance to exploring your ideas. And congratulations again. And you appointing, you can appoint me from the applicants, or you council can nominate someone. So to listen to the community, and I believe sometimes you might have to think about what you believe, the same line, or someone wants to make some kind of a teamwork, Mr. Moreno was mentioning 5-0. It's impossible to everybody has same idea. So please don't oppose them, but it's a way about we working 5-0 for the community benefits. Sometimes they have a different idea. So same things, please don't try to make someone is my favorite, or what I believe. Think about it, who can be beneficial for the citizens, not to team up with you. So if you guys making decision or suggesting someone to agreeing with you, then we might gonna have ganged up instead of team up. Mr. Garcia, you had experience. It's been run through you several times. I believe 2 times. So make sure who can make this decision for the community, regardless if you like or not. You guys have been mentioning several times, we agree to, not to agree. So please think about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Javier Gonzalez.
Honorable, congratulations, Mayor Garcia. I just wanted to share that I served on commissions for a long time. At 18, the late Amelia Castiglianis and Mrs. Nicosia asked me to join the commission, the Beautification Commission. I lasted 18 years there. Then later, I served in every commission except the Police and Planning Commission. But later, I was Calexico's Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Director. And I was in charge of commissions. And we used to give him an orientation. But back then, it was very different. You guys had commissions for every single item. And throughout the years, I've been looking at how you've been putting them together, and it's not working. I mean, recreation itself needs their own commission. Senior citizens, we're the biggest community in Calexico. For senior citizens, they should have their own commission. I was in the Beautification Commission. It was big. We had a lot of assignments. The Border Patrol was there always, and myself and Carmen Durazo proposed the Arts Commission to separate the beautification from all the things that we're doing. What I've seen in this city is you guys have been consolidating them and not only not meeting every month, meeting every 3 months. That's not gonna work. I see the great work of Mrs. Patricia Ureña, and what she's been doing is she's been doing subcommittees within the committee. That's not gonna work. Now, I see the way you're doing your appointments. You are asking for applications. That's not the way we used to do it, because your commissioner is your right-hand man, your right-hand person. You need to trust on them. If you open it for public and you appoint someone who you don't even know, you don't even talk to, when was the last time that you had a police issue or a park issue and you went to your commissioner? Never. You never go to your commissioner, because the way you're appointing them is everybody puts application and you select. I don't know how. It used to be your own individual council member appoints whoever you think is your right-hand man. That's the way. No applications. Well, you can get applications, but you have to have someone that you trust. There's a police issue, you go to your commissioner. You go to your park commissioner, and that's someone that you can trust. The way it's being done, I'm sorry, and it's a little bit undemocratic, but you're going to appoint somebody that you don't even know. You don't even know, and that's not the way. I've always told, when I was doing the orientation, I always told council members, your power, your strong things are your commissioners, because you're the one that you are going to go to them for advice, and it should be someone that you trust. Well, I mean, I don't know about this process that you're using. It's like an application for a job. Your commissioner should be someone you trust, that you yourself select, because you trust him and you know that he knows the police issues, he knows the planning issues, he knows the park issues. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're never going to call him because you don't even know him. You just appointed him because he was the best candidate. But it should be someone that each individual council member should appoint because you trust on them. Whenever there's an issue, you go. When was the last time you had a park issue and you went to your park commissioner? I bet you never do that. And I just wanted to share, because I've served in every commission. I used to be in charge of orientation for the commissions.
Thank you,
and
Mr. Gonzalez.
That's the way it used to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ismael Arvizu.
Buenas noches, everyone. To be clear, we're talking about applications for the 2 spots de allá arriba, no?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So I'm glad you guys are going through the application route, because I know nominations or just that's too little of a pick. With an application process, we're hopefully going to have a lot more applications that we normally don't see through candidacy or like through the campaign seasons, right? So hopefully we have a new kind of more diverse group of community members, because I don't think we always have to be 5-0 on everything. I think it's good to be like in differences, right? Different opinions. Hopefully we can have a blue collar worker, pero quien sea que llegue, que sea alguien con ganas que venga a trabajar, you know? Que esté open for meetings, flexible for communication, transparent as well, and just update it to what's going on in Calexico or what's been going on the last 10, 15 years. So yeah, I'm pretty happy you guys are doing an application. Just try to, as much as possible, to put it out to the whole city. No sé cómo se puede comunicar other than Instagram or Facebooks, but like we have to do more than that for sure if we want most applicants to apply, qualified applicants, right? And I think it shouldn't be people from the same cohorts of social groups that we already see. I think we should be hopeful for someone new, trying to step up and trying to get in the middle of like everything and try to be a new person out here. I hope someone that's not in this room is applying, you know? But I'm very hopeful that this application process is an exciting one and a new motivation for people to get involved in the politics of Calexico. So yeah, hopefully those meeting dates come out and everything.
Thank you.
Carla Flores.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council. Carla Flores, Exoto Emilia. I'm not going to take much of your time. I just want to remind you that a couple of weeks ago, Mujeres with Voice we held a forum. We had very great candidates that are interested. So having heard what you guys are just saying right now, we will extend that invitation to them as we have their contact information. I just checked right now, we have about 5,000 views on that forum, so that means that there's a lot of people that are watching. These are well-educated, knowledgeable, they know about our municipality, and I just want to remind you that there is people out there with that type of education that could handle those 2 positions. We're going to hold you all accountable because we are seeking transparency. We've been through so much during these past months, despite the fact that, you know, we held some of these people responsible for their actions, right? But at this point, we need to move forward, and so we will be reaching out to those 5 candidates. I do hope that you guys took the time to listen to what they had to say. We had great questions. They answered them all very properly and very well respected. So just to remind you on that. Thank you.
Thank you. So, do I have a motion to approve this process?
So move.
Second? Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Roma. Motion passes.
Thank you. Now we're going to go to item 16, 2023-24 third quarter budget status report and resolution to amend the 2023-24 budget. Interim Finance Director. And I know that we might run after 9:30, so if I can have a motion to extend the meeting.
So move.
And that we will extend it until 10. So, yeah. Second? Roll call?
Mayor Camilo Garcia.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno.
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Roma. Motion passes.
Good evening, council members and people in the audience. Tonight, we will be presenting the third quarter budget report, giving you the status as how we are with our fiscal year 2023-24. Today's objective is to monitor the 23-24 9-month expenditures, consider a resolution to amend 23-24 budget, and to show you the finance calendar for the month of June, for the next items that will be coming. Los objetivos de hoy es recibir un informe de los gastos de los 9 meses del año fiscal, considerar una enmienda para modificar el presupuesto del 2023-24 y el calendario del Departamento de Finanzas para el mes de junio. The city has completed the first 9 months of the 2023-24 fiscal year on track within its expected expenditure trend. The general fund has expended 69% of its budget through March 2024 and is on track with its adopted budget. Other program expenditures outside of the general fund are largely dependent upon the timing of capital projects. All fund expenditures are at or below the expected expenditure trend for the fiscal year. La ciudad ha completado los primeros 9 meses del año fiscal 2023-24 dentro de su tendencia de gasto. El Fondo General ha gastado el 69% de su presupuesto hasta marzo del 2024 y va por buen camino con su presupuesto adoptado. Otros gastos de programas fuera del Fondo General dependen del estado de los proyectos. Todos los gastos del fondo están o por debajo de la tendencia de gasto esperada para el año fiscal. All general fund departments are within the 75% target 9-month expenditure trend as of March 2024. The fire department is over its budget in salary and benefits, but currently has savings in expenses due to contracts not expiring until June 2024. While vacancies contribute to the budget surplus, staffing shortages present continued challenges to all departments to deliver customer service both internally and externally to the public. As you've been hearing about the public, it has been very hard for the employees of the city to be able to maintain. But I know that they've done other efforts, and I want to thank them, and I want to thank the department heads, because even though they have all these shortfalls, they continue to work as a team and to try to make the city nice. Todos los departamentos del Fondo General están dentro de la tendencia del gasto objetivo del 75% en los 9 meses hasta marzo del 2024. El Departamento de Bomberos está por encima del presupuesto en salario y beneficios, pero actualmente tiene ahorros en gastos debido a que unos contratos no se vencen hasta junio de 2024. Mientras las vacantes contribuyen al excedente presupuestario, la escasez de personal presenta desafíos continuos para todos los departamentos a la hora de brindar servicio al cliente, tanto interna como externamente al público. Y en este momento sí me gustaría agradecer al personal de la ciudad y a los supervisores, porque a pesar de que se han limitado, que los hemos limitado para poder mantener nuestro presupuesto, han trabajado como equipo y quieren seguir haciendo que la ciudad se vea bien. Total 23-24 general fund revenues are projected to increase by $310,000 and to reach $20 million for the fiscal year. Se proyecta que los ingresos totales del Fondo General para el 2023-24 aumentarán en $310,000 y alcanzarán los 20 millones para el año fiscal al final. The most significant general fund tax revenue increase is $280,000 in improved year-to-date sales tax revenues. This reflects actual sales tax revenues earned through the retail sales month of February 2024. General fund year-to-date sales tax revenues have increased 6% from the prior year. Actual results for the quarter ending in March 2024 are expected to be released by the state on May 21st, 2024, in time for consideration in the upcoming 24-25 budget. Other tax revenue lines proposed for reduction include franchise, hotel, and property transfer taxes. Cable franchise revenues have been trending down for the past 6 quarters in the post-COVID period. Hotel tax revenues are temporarily reduced during a refurbishment project at one of the city's hotels. The property transfer tax revenue decline reflects the current real estate environment and sales activity. Business license revenues improvement partially offsets these other tax declines. Business license revenue improvement reflects the additional enforcement activity facilitated by the revenue staffing restructure approved by the City Council in the second quarter staff report. Net tax revenues other than sales tax have decreased by $81,000. Each of the general fund departments have evaluated their 23-24 revenue trends and made updates to bring current their base revenue projections. Police, fire, and recreation have each increased their program revenue projections. Fire ambulance revenues in particular have realized steady increases from the implementation annualization of new federal state billing rates. Planning and building revenues projections, however, have been reduced to reflect anticipated activity through the end of the fiscal year. Net department program revenues have increased by $111,000. These updates to the general fund revenue lines will create the baseline revenues for use in the upcoming 24-25 budget cycle. El aumento más significativo en los ingresos fiscales del Fondo General es de $280,000 en ingresos mejorados por impuestos sobre las ventas en lo que va del año. Esto refleja los ingresos reales por impuestos sobre las ventas obtenidos durante el mes de febrero del 2024. Los ingresos por impuestos sobre las ventas del Fondo General hasta la fecha han aumentado un 6% con respecto al año anterior. Se espera que el Estado publique los resultados reales para el trimestre que finaliza en marzo del 2024, el 21 de mayo del 2024, a tiempo para consideración en el próximo presupuesto 2024-25. Otras líneas de ingresos propuestas para reducir incluyen impuestos de franquicia, hotelería y transferencia de propiedad. Los ingresos de las franquicias de cable han tenido una tendencia a la baja durante los últimos 6 trimestres. En el periodo post-COVID, los ingresos por impuestos hoteleros se reducen temporalmente durante un proyecto de remodelación en uno de los hoteles de la ciudad. La disminución de los ingresos por impuestos a la transferencia de propiedades refleja el entorno inmobiliario actual y la actividad de ventas. La mejora de los ingresos por licencias comerciales compensa parcialmente estas otras reducciones de impuestos. La mejoría de los ingresos por licencias comerciales refleja la actividad de cumplimiento adicional facilitada por la reestructuración del personal aprobada por el Consejo Municipal en el informe del segundo trimestre. Los ingresos netos distintos del impuesto sobre las ventas han disminuido $81,000. Cada uno de los departamentos del Fondo General ha evaluado sus tendencias de ingresos para el 2023-24 y ha realizado actualizaciones para actualizar sus proyecciones de ingresos base. La policía, los bomberos y recreación han aumentado sus proyecciones de ingresos por programa. Los ingresos de las ambulancias de bomberos en particular han experimentado aumentos constantes gracias a la implementación de nuevas tarifas de facturación federales estatales. Sin embargo, las proyecciones de ingresos de planificación y construcción se han reducido para reflejar la actividad prevista hasta el final del año fiscal. Los ingresos netos del programa departamental han aumentado en $111,000. Estas actualizaciones de las líneas de ingresos del Fondo General crearán los ingresos de referencia para su uso en el próximo ciclo presupuestal 2024-25.
Sandy, question.
Yes.
On the revenue from the fire department, is that from the collection of fees, of bills, or from services?
The federal and state changed their rates,
Okay.
and that has helped us. And it has, because of the budget, what we had budgeted at the beginning of the fiscal year.
Okay.
And since they implemented those new rates, it has helped us receive more revenue.
That's at the federal level. It's not
Okay.
at our level.
It's not our, yes, it's not.
Okay, so just
Yes.
because that's what I was trying to find out. It
Yes.
was just because of a federal,
Yes, federal and
change
state.
in the law that we're
Yes.
collecting more, but not necessarily that we are collecting our.
From the residents, no.
Okay,
No,
Right.
it's the increase what we recover from the billing.
correct. From
And the other
what we
thing
can
that-
charge people
Yes.
through the different.
The other thing
insurance.
that we had to consider in this item is the fact that we have 2 new ambulances, and they're using more the ambulances in this case. They were operating into 1 ambulance, if I remember correctly, before they pick up the 2 ambulances, and that was at the end of the that was already on the last part of the fiscal year, last year.
Okay, thank you.
The proposed budget amendment draws on improved general fund tax revenues growth to support 3 financial policy objectives. The first one, build reserves. Second, pay down debt. And the third, invest in city programs. The proposed general fund budget amendment is break even with revenues and matching expenditures. The combined general fund and Measure H fund reserves increased to $4 million or 73 days of general fund operations, primarily due to improved sales tax revenue projections. With this proposed action, the city continues to maintain and improve its fiscal position and stability. Improved Measure H sales tax revenues are projected to increase by the end of the fiscal year Measure H fund balance reserve and could be available for Measure H committee consideration of program department budget requests and recommendations to the city council in the upcoming 24-25 proposed budget. La enmienda propuesta se basa en un mayor crecimiento de los ingresos del Fondo General para respaldar 3 objetivos de política financiera. El primero, crear reserva. El segundo, pagar deudas. Y el tercer, invertir en programas de la ciudad. La enmienda al presupuesto del Fondo General es un equilibrio con ingresos que coinciden con los gastos. Las reservas combinadas del Fondo General y del Fondo de la Medida H aumentan a 4 millones o 73 días de operaciones del Fondo General, principalmente debido a mejores proyecciones de ingresos por impuestos sobre las ventas. Con esta acción propuesta, la ciudad continúa manteniendo y mejorando su posición y estabilidad fiscal. Se proyecta que los ingresos de impuestos de la medida H mejorarán sobre las ventas al final del año fiscal. La reserva de saldo del fondo de la medida H podrían estar disponibles para la consideración del Comité de la medida H para las solicitudes de presupuesto de departamentos y la recomendación al Consejo Municipal en el próximo presupuesto para el 2024-25. The proposed third quarter budget amendment adjusts 3 general fund expenditure lines as follows. $360,000 transferred to local capital fund. Staff is preparing the 2024-25 budget for presentation to City Council in the upcoming weeks. General fund program departments have submitted significant deferred capital, vehicle, and equipment budget requests that have not fit within available revenues during the recent budget cycles. With the city's increasing annual pension and retiree medical payment obligations, funding for these deferred items will again be at risk for funding in the 24-25 general fund budget. This third quarter budget amendment proposing setting aside available 23-24 general fund revenues into a capital reserve so these funds will be available for city council consideration and allocation to capital replacements in the 2024-25 budget. $25,000 annual contribution to compensated absence internal service fund. As part of the fiscal strategy to pay down long-term city debt obligations, the general fund has contributed $100,000 each of the prior 2 fiscal years to create an internal service fund reserve to pay employee leave obligations that are due when employees retire or separate from the city. The fund has accumulated $200,000 or 12% of the $1.7 million general fund leave obligation balance. The original 22-23 budget did not provide a current year contribution. The proposed third quarter budget amendment allocates a small incremental contribution to maintain the annual amortization of this debt while prioritizing the allocation of most available revenues into the capital vehicle equipment reserve previously discussed. Reduction of $75,000 in sales tax contribution to the CFD 2013-1. The city has a funding agreement to pass through certain sales tax revenues to CFD 2013-1. This adjustment corrects the CFD contribution budget to match the actual pass-through requirement earned in the 2023 calendar year measurement period. This reserves the adjustment authorized in the second quarter budget report due to current information received from the city sales tax consultant HDL. Total expenditure adjustment of $310,000. The proposed budget amendment adds 2 additional police department grants to the budget with expected combined 23-24 operating expenditures of $35,000. La enmienda propuesta para el tercer trimestre ajusta 3 líneas de gastos del Fondo General de la siguiente manera. $360,000 al Fondo de Capital Local. El personal está preparando el presupuesto 2024-25 para presentarlo al Consejo Municipal en las próximas semanas. Los departamentos de programas del Fondo General han presentado importantes solicitudes presupuestales de capital, vehículos y equipos deferidos que no se han ajustado a los ingresos disponibles durante los ciclos presupuestales recientes. Con las crecientes obligaciones anuales de pago de pensiones y gastos médicos de los jubilados de la ciudad, el financiamiento para estos artículos deferidos nuevamente estarán en riesgo de ser financiado en el presupuesto del Fondo General 24-25. Esta enmienda del tercer trimestre propone reservar los ingresos disponibles del Fondo General del 23-24 en una reserva de capital para que estos fondos estén disponibles para la consideración del Consejo Municipal y su asignación para el reemplazo de capital en el presupuesto 24-25. La contribución de $25,000 al Fondo Anual de Servicios Internos de Ausencias Compensadas, como parte de la estrategia fiscal para pagar las obligaciones de deuda de la ciudad a largo plazo. El Fondo General ha contribuido con $100,000 en cada uno de los 2 años fiscales anteriores para crear una reserva del Fondo de Servicio Interno para pagar las obligaciones de los empleados cuando los empleados se jubilan o se separan de la ciudad. El fondo ha aumentado $200,000 o el 12% del saldo de obligación de licencia del Fondo General de 1.7 millones. El presupuesto original para el 23-24 no preveía una contribución para el año en curso. La enmienda propuesta para el tercer trimestre asigna una pequeña contribución incremental para mantener la amortización anual de esta deuda y al mismo tiempo prioriza la asignación de la mayoría de los ingresos disponibles a la reserva de capital vehículo equipo discutida anteriormente. La reducción de $75,000 del impuesto sobre las ventas aporte al CFD 2013. La ciudad tiene un acuerdo de financiación para transferir ciertos ingresos del impuesto sobre las ventas al CFD 2013-1. Este ajuste corrige el presupuesto de contribución del CFD para que coincida con el requisito de transferencia real obtenido en el periodo de mediación del año calendario 2023. Esto revierte el ajuste autorizado en el informe presupuestario del segundo trimestre debido a la información actual recibida del asesor de impuestos sobre las ventas de la ciudad, HDL. El ajuste de gastos totales serían de $310,000. La enmienda propuesta agrega 2 subvenciones adicionales del Departamento de Policía al presupuesto con gastos operativos combinados esperados para el 23-24 de $35,000. This is the next steps that the Finance Department will be considering. On June 5th, 2024, auditors will make their presentation on the 22-23 audit to the City Council. They will come in person and give that presentation. On the same council meeting, Finance will have budget policy actions on the annual investment police, annual GAN resolution, and annual CFD property levy reports. Between June 5th through June 30th, we will present the proposed budget, department workshops, and budget adoption. El 5 de junio del 2024, los auditores harán su presentación personalmente sobre la auditoría de 2022-23 al Consejo Municipal. En la misma fecha, Finanzas tendrá acciones presupuestarias y políticas sobre la política anual de inversiones, resolución anual del GAN y informes de CFD, grávenes inmobiliarios. Entre el 5 y el 30 de junio presentaremos el presupuesto propuesto, talleres por los departamentos y la adopción del presupuesto. At this point, this is the end of my presentation. I'm not sure, I don't know if you have any questions or.
Well, more than questions, it's also about the process that we have discussed, time after time when we have these updates, and that's the conversation and the inclusion of conversation from not just the Measure H committee, but now as we move forward, I would like to get the feedback from every commission, as to how, this some of this funding, and I know that, we're still in a recoup mode, but I think it's important that, we also get the feedback. So I know that we have budget workshops for the council and for the community, but I think it's also important that we involve this at the commission level, and make sure that we get the feedback and make sure that we take that into account, because, just the Measure H, that has been one of the issues that, has come up every time where we make all these transfers to the general fund, and it's actually, increasing, our general fund, but at the same time, one of the things that I also got from this presentation is that we also have unfilled vacancies. We have a lack of personnel. So what I always have said is that, we can't just be putting money away when we're starving. So for the next budget hearings and workshops, I want to make sure that we take a look at, those vacancies. We take a look at, what will be responding to the needs of our community. And I know that by law, we have to also keep a certain amount, or certain percentages of a general fund reserves and all of that. But whatever we can do in putting back, to the community, I want us to make sure that we include everybody, that we include the commission. So if we can make an effort to start meeting with them also, calling them up and try to make quorum and make sure that they show up and provide input, because it's really, you know, sad to hear that we're not responding to them. And that's the part that I want to change. We want to see change. So thank you. And good job to all the staff that contributing from finance and everyone, that the department heads and the staff that continues to contribute. So appreciate that.
Mayor Garcia, just to confirm, you want the interaction of the commissioners at the budget, the upcoming budget, right?
As it is right now, because it's short time, you know, yes, if we can invite.
Yes.
But I want to make sure that we have a better plan for future, just because, and maybe I know we have a finance also.
We haven't been able to get a quorum.
I know.
We
I was
haven't
going to
been
say
able
that
to,
we haven't had a chance to you know, but if we can reach out to them, you know, and make sure that we make that, you know, a point to bring them in, because that's the input that we need. So, thank you. Anybody else? Comments?
Yes.
Public comments on this? Oh.
Yes, we have one.
Okay.
Mr. Jun Kim?
Well, I think I have a good news and bad news. The bad news is our council, our city governments, they don't know how to spend money for the people. And first of all, when we returning the last meeting, when we returning the $2 million, Mr. Garcia was mentioning a little bit about we can use it to other purpose of that $2 million instead of returning them. And I don't see any activities to looking for deterring the money we might can use it then. And the other one is City of Calexico, it's going to be fine number, has $85 million in capital project fund. And even someone is in long-term funds, we still have spent it, or they have $62 million. They are still holding it. We be able to using $22 million and not using it. And this budget report, I think it's the first pages, they are showing capital project and the debt service fund. They have totally $85 million, but some long-term project we can take it out. Still, they have $32 million. And that project, we can use it. Look at our cities. Street is horrible. Sidewalk is horrible. We have $32 million. You know how much we spend money for that? 1%. How much? $323,000. We spend money for that. So where is the rest of the money sitting down there? We're not working. And even the major D money. We have so much bad condition of the road and look, we have a lot of money left there. So we keep complaining we don't have money. Consider about other years we have more money. And we're not spending. So where is it going to be that money? We supposedly, I found the money, $3.1 million for the police and fires. That's money from the impact fees. That impact fee means like it covers all those, our departments. And we don't have money to hire the police, and we don't have money for the hire the number of the fire officers, safety officers, and security. What's going on here? We can hire the police. That's one policeman we can set to the IC, and then we can have a lot of population money, a lot more than we investing in one police officers.
Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Okay, so please, we have a lot of money there. We're supposed to spend money for the citizens and our future.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else?
Mayor Garcia, would you like me to just make a comment? Just to get a more clarification about how the budget works.
You know what, we can take the time when we have the workshops. Right now, let's just move on,
Okay.
you know, so, but I invite, if people want to come forward, you know, we will be more than happy to sit down with you,
Okay.
you know, and do that, just to expedite, you know, things. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
So, anybody else? Last minute, last call for comments? If not, if I can.
I'll comment if I may. Thank you, Mayor. So we are having a workshop
Yes, sir.
for the budget.
For the budget, this is the quarterly report.
Right. So traditionally, we do that.
Yes, sir.
So, as you recall, when Enya was here, he spoke on the budget for like 45 minutes. That was not proper. What we need to do is have the right people speaking on the budget, present to a company, and also I would venture to say, let's hire a translator, because there's people that come here who can't understand that. So avoid all the confusion, okay? We don't want to go past practice that we did. So moving forward, I would think, Mr. Mayor, is hire a translator. It's not that expensive when we have that workshop. I think that will go a long ways to the confusion, right, translation. The other thing also is, yes, I agree, to piggyback a little bit on Mayor Garcia, is that this is a budget amendment that's going to enhance your general fund budget. That's what it says here. Whereby department heads can plan in advance if we're going to have the what's called the tax revenues, right? You see what I'm saying?
I don't understand your question.
So it says here, the proposed budget amendment improved 2023-24 general fund tax revenues into capital replacement reserve. So the key word is reserve.
Yes.
So you're going to have reserve so all the department heads can tap into that, right?
No, I think, and this is what I wanted to clarify. We have unfunded liabilities that were addressed by the auditors of the state of California. We have more than $2 million in, for example, vacation from staff that have not been able to take vacation, but they have the right to accumulate vacation.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And so we have those unfunded liabilities, and that's what with the budget that we have, if we have any money left from one quarter, our recommendation is to continue injecting that account so that we have money available when someone retires. It doesn't impact the general fund. It has been impacting the general fund over the years because we never have a reserve.
Right.
Last year, that reserve was created at the recommendation of the state auditors. In the same way, there are other expenses. You have to remember, this is the third quarter. It's 75% expenditure. So we had this funding left, a little bit left, but it doesn't mean that we have a lot of funding left available. We're just trying to mitigate what we don't have reserves for.
All right. And the workshop will take care of
Yes.
that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anybody else? Any comments? Thank you. So if I can have a motion to accept, you know, the budget report.
Sure, so move.
Second? Roll call.
Who's second?
I did.
Mayor Camilo Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno,
Yes.
Councilmember Gloria Roma. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 17, adopt a resolution granting a 2-year extension with the conditions of approval for a tentative parcel map for a lot split into 2 parcels on an approximately 0.36 acre site at APN A058030970 within the city of Calexico, and finding the actions exempt from CEQA, Planning and Building Services Director.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Honorable Council and members of the public. So on August 13, 2019, the applicant submitted a uniform application for a tentative parcel map to the Development Services Department for a lot split. So this is a residential single-family area, or parcel. The item was presented in December 2, 2019 to the Planning Commission and was approved with a 2-year, with the condition that it be recorded within 2 years of the approval. However, upon submitting the final map for review and then the final recording, comments arose from the city's side However, they were not properly communicated, thus resulting in the expiration of the final map for the applicant. So this item is to present a potential 2-year extension to the city council to be granted under section 16.24.010 of the municipal code. And this is to allow the applicant to rather than restart the whole process, to let her continue where she left off and potentially complete that final map. So therefore, staff recommendation is for the granting of the 2-year extension.
Any questions, comments?
We have a public comment. Jose Hinojosa?
May I make a comment after the vote?
No, it has to be before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, if I can have a motion.
So move.
Second. Roll call.
Mayor Camilo Garcia?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Javier Moreno?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gloria Roma? Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 18, introduction and first reading of an ordinance temporarily suspending Calexico Municipal Code, Chapter 2.06 regarding city council salaries and temporarily suspending city council benefits to mitigate the fiscal impact on the city. And Councilmember Moreno is the one.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So initially, last city councilman, I brought this up because my intention was to allow 2 council members, which is the only ones that receive benefits right now is me and Gloria. That's evident, okay? That's not a top secret there. What I wanted to do is get 2 months stipend, leave the insurance, okay, and get that money and use it for the adopt a park program. So he can be funded and start that program. That's my initial, and I stand by that, and I would like to make a motion to approve that. Right, just for 2 months. That'll be $500 each. That's $1,000 each. Gloria and myself. That's $2,000. Goes to the Parks by Top Park program. Start that program, and then after that, we're done. That's my initial reason why I brought this up. And leave the insurance.
Correct. If we're going to move the funds like we did last time, we would then bring a budget amendment to then allocate those funds.
Right.
But we will have to amend the way that the ordinance is, because it's not exactly what we have in mind. It was never communicated to us that you wanted 2 months, so.
So my question, can we do that, or?
Yeah, we would just rewrite, because the current ordinance provides for a 12-month, we would revise that to, you're saying 2 months?
Right.
Temporary.
Okay.
And get those funds to take it to the program.
Correct, and those ones, we'd have to bring them back to the
Right,
budget
and then once the
amendment.
2 months are up, we can go back to stipend.
But let me clarify something. I just want to make sure that we're getting the right direction. So what you're asking is 2 months, no stipend,
But leave the insurance.
but leave the insurance. However, when is the starting time for those
The
stipends?
starting time?
Yes, because this is an ordinance.